keep you waiting, complicated business.
You are fake news.
Consistently stood up for Canadian interests, consistently demonstrated where we disagree, but done so in a polite and cordial context. I think that's what Canadians have always expected of me, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy, had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar, a straight-up omelet bar. And now look, my former intern's tossing me down a bottomless freaking pit. You know, come to think of it, my whole life has been a series of what-the-f moments. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
Yeah, you said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
Hey, Private Smedlap, what do you think about this? You have to go to the White House to find out about that.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
At the bottom of the ocean.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Monday edition with myself and Flash.
Hello.
And welcome back, Mom, to the front desk duties.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome back.
Finally,
Thank
we've
you.
been running around all by ourselves.
I know.
Adult supervision.
Exactly,
Right?
man. Fucking kids are going around unfed, diapers all filled with fucking shit and piss because we don't know what the fuck's going on.
Ready to
We
go.
don't cause.
Well,
The next thing to an adult, right?
well,
He lets
cause
us get away with a lot.
yeah, he's a
He,
best.
he doesn't go like, guys, maybe you shouldn't do that. Like you do. You kind of like crack the whip, like Flash. No,
He's actually
bad Flash.
yeah, exactly.
Causes more like you know,
The
it's like
cool
that one
dad.
uncle is like, hey, don't kick the cat.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
don't stick
Don't
a
do
butter
that.
knife in
Exactly.
the, electric socket.
Exactly. You know what happens if you guys do that, right? No, what's gonna happen? Do it. You know, next thing we do it.
Find out.
So welcome to the Monday edition on WTF Nation Radio on this 11 June 2018, broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. And wow, today in about 40 minutes, history will be made.
Actually, he's already on his way to the site. It came right when we were doing showing
intros.
The mighty eyebrow.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get to that.
I'm sorry, I won't lie, and I'm trying not to be a mean person, but when I saw, I kept seeing things on Twitter about his eyebrows, I went, well, maybe he doesn't get his eyebrows done. Like, is that a bad thing? Because I don't get my eyebrows done, and I'm public affairs, so it's I'm about as as it goes. But then I actually saw it where the eyebrow was like, so this guy's such a pussy. I'm trying to leave his face. Like, I just felt bad for the eyebrow. Trying to get away.
The eyebrow was trying to make a mad dash from his face, like,
run.
Yeah, exactly. Like me running from
He
an
keeps
ex-wife.
apologizing, stupid Canadians.
Yeah. So, look, if you guys don't know what's going on, what the big deal is, we had our G7 summit which was just like coincidentally happened to have been scheduled. Everybody knew that the president was going to go see Kim Jong-un today, but for some reason everyone just assumed that it was okay for him to just show up, and he was going to drop that summit for the G7 summit. And everything was going good. There was some look. I don't work in the diplomatic channel, so I can't even begin to answer. I've worked with State Department before. I have done public diplomacy type stuff before, but I've never have been in like the big league discussions of shit. I've never been in a position to where I can just like add up an opinion or say what's up, because that's why they all do that crap. It's on them, right? And I'm sure you've seen it too, right, Flash? You've seen the big meetings and stuff that you feel like it's kind of like not your lane, right? You don't see what's going on.
This is the big leagues. I mean, when you have that many world leaders in the same room talking,
exactly.
Regardless of what it is, but talking, it's kind of a big deal. Like it's a big testament of where we stand, and this is the big seven economies and stuff like that. So it's working together. There was a lot of stuff that went on preceding possibly the biggest part of Donald Trump's career, or a career as the president, could be today or tomorrow, depending where you're at. But with these meetings with Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of North Korea, so it's a lot of stuff going on.
Supreme. So the whole thing was that there were some discussions about trades and tariffs and all that. I like this this whole type of discussion. This discussion is good because people are actually researching what tariffs mean and what tariffs are. If you guys know what a tariff is, it's basically you want to import your goods into another country to obviously sell it, or goods and services. The country that you want to import it to is basically saying, yeah, you can import it, but you got to pay at least a percentage, like a tax, like a fee, a percentage of cost to even bring it into the country. That's pretty much basically what it is. You're paying like a toll. That's about the easiest layman's. I'm not even smart enough to go into the articulate measures of the structure of one. Oh, there he goes again. He's pissed.
Yeah, we're not going to pretend like we're economic advisors or anything like that. So we're going to try to give you the down and dirty of this bad boy.
The thing is that we impose certain tariffs for countries to import their stuff. What is weird is that, for instance, Germany, okay, they have obviously vehicles, BMW, Mercedes, and all that.
The Germans.
Und here we like to say our cars, and we have the BMW. So the Beamers are made in Spartanburg, South Carolina. In South Carolina, they're made BMWs, but they're German, but they're European spec modeled vehicles to be sold overseas into Germany. But yet when we import them in, we have to pay a tax. We have to pay a tariff. In other words, we're making somebody else's fucking cars, but we're getting taxed for it. If that is like the most ridiculous fucking thing. Now, everyone's talking about how a lot of the industries that we have in the States are getting imposed with whatever, and it's going to fuck up this. Now, believe it or not, the majority of sales that come from, like, say, for instance, it's really scary too. This is going to segue into another story about social media fucking spying on me. The bourbon industry. When I was discussing this with somebody, over the weekend, and then at work, we like our brews. I mean, bad. I mean, we really love our booze. The same, say, 30 bottle of Jack Daniels or Knob Creek in freaking the States would cost you approximately between 80 to 100 euros. Now with the euro-dollar ratio, so you're paying almost $90 for a bottle that costs here in the States. Now, those tariffs are not really loose because the bourbon industry knows that they're going to lose. The Americans not going to buy that much money for fucking booze, because what do we end up doing? We end up fucking shining it, right? If you're gonna make some booze that's expensive, we're gonna shine it. We don't give a fuck. Just pretty much the way it works. So there's a lot of shell game going on when it comes to tariffs, when it comes to the industries, when it comes to whatever. Now, the reason why specific senators and now governors, which is really odd, is because for a lot of the tariffs and a lot of the deals that were going on within Canada, California, you guys have been getting sold out to Canada by Feinstein and all the other fucking...
Oh, Canada.
No, here, I got a better one. There we go. Blame Canada.
I remember singing that song as a kid when that South Park movie came out. Love it.
Exactly.
My sister, weirdly enough, still remembers all the words to the song. That and Kyle's mom. That was...
Oh, man, come on, man.
We had a great childhood.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle's mom. How could you not forget Kyle's moms? But the whole point being is that there are a lot of individual stakeholders that are now getting ruffled about these tariffs and being traded. Because everyone else is making a huge profit off of us being as lenient due to treaties and shit like that, like NAFTA, all this other crap. That now all of a sudden, but they're selling out. So the jobs, the issues that we've had with people trying to get jobs, the industries that are leaving this country, why all of a sudden we were at a decline, those jobs were getting sold out. Minx brought up a good point on her show. We now have more jobs than we have people to employ. That's how the job market is now. Literally, we have more jobs than people in our country for unemployment. That's insane. I don't think I've ever heard of that before in my
It's
entire
a good
life.
problem to have, honestly. Because the numbers of how many people are actually, were looking for jobs or stopped looking for jobs was still kind of high. So that number eventually will go down because people realized, oh, the jobs are actually there. And then we just start getting out there, getting the certifications and stuff like that. It's better to have more jobs than not enough, right?
Oh, exactly. So this whole thing was going on. Now there are several pictures that have come out of this meeting that are very real fucking hard hitting. I think these pictures that were taken by these lens caps, oh my God, they should win awards. There was some good one. The one of the president sitting down with his arms folded, and Prime Minister Abe from Japan with his arms folded, standing up, and Angela Merkel leaning over to Trump, with her hands on the fucking table, like she's leaning into him, like whatever. And there's other people. Japan is actually saying, yeah, fuck this, fuck these tariffs. We don't want these tariffs either. We're having people that are supporting us in changing the way we do our stuff. It's almost like walking in and finding out that your house, when you go underneath the crawl space, is only being held by one pillar. That's what it's like. That's what the noid stuff. You start going into the trade stuff. You start getting into the logistics, the transportations, the tariffs. Who's making what? How many cutouts are involved? It gets so fucking confusing. You forget what country is involved of the actual product being made or service that's being provided to our country or their country, imported or exported. So without getting too much in the weeds, that's pretty much an explanation of what it is. So as soon as the G7 summit was over with, then all of a sudden there was posturing. There was by the Canadian Prime Minister. He even oh my God, he invoked D-Day. He invoked, we've stood by side with you guys. Blah, 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 blah. This has nothing to do with war, with services of war. It has nothing to do with it. Don't even try to do it. Don't even try to vet guilt us, because we know as soon as you say, oh, because we died for your freedom too, blah, 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 everyone will immediately stop, drop what they're doing, and not question anything. Then that's what's happening. He threw out the vet card. We had people die on the beaches of Normandy. Blah, blah. Yeah, you did. Yeah, we were there. Yeah, we saw that. We had people on this global war. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we were there too. But you're sitting there talking smack to the rest of the world while the president is flying overseas to deal with a summit that's extremely this is fucking historic. You can't have you can't have your cake and eat it too. You get the ass and shit because your country's not getting that. And then he has the nerve to say, with his eyebrows falling off.
Let's talk a little bit about the G7 conference for a second. So, before Trump even left for the conference, he actually floated the possibility of Russia rejoining G7. Now, if you remember,
That's right.
Russia was kicked out of the group after invading Ukraine and annexing Crimea in 2014. Weirdly enough, I was in Germany at the time for all that. Trump arrived late for the G7 gathering for the first one, the first meeting group that focused on gender diversity on Saturday morning. And, they started the meeting without him because it's Donald Trump and, he didn't really care about that. Trump then went on did a news conference before he left Quebec to jet to Singapore. In that presser, he described the meeting as a 10 out of 10 and insisted he had a very close personal relationship with many people, including the Prime Minister from Canada, the French President Emmanuel Macron, and the German Chancellor Angela Merkel.
Merkel.
I tell you what though, she's a scary woman. Like she gets the job done. There's a reason why she got voted back in. After watching the press conference, Trudeau had a press conference. After watching a Trudeau press conference on Air Force One, Trump took to Twitter to attack the Prime Minister, saying that he acted so meek and mild during the G7 meeting, only to give a news conference after I left, saying that the U.S. tariffs were kind of insulting and he would not be pushed around. Trump went on to say he's very dishonest and weak. Our tariffs are a response to his 270% on dairy. Now, Chief Trump economic advisor Larry Krudo, went on State of the Union on CNN State of the Union and called Trudeau news conference a betrayal, adding he stabbed us in the back.
Pretty much.
Some more stuff went on. There was a lot of talk about, and even at the beginning, Donald Trump started off the whole thing like, hey, maybe we should all just drop our tariffs. And that kind of threw a lot of people off. It was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of name calling, finger pointing, who's to blame to who. There were already, for people that playing at home, there were already some tariffs on the U.S.
Yep.
And the U.S. already had some tariffs on other people. What happened was we ratcheted up tariffs like on steel and stuff like that. They ratcheted up tariffs on like dairy and sausages and weird stuff like that. So honestly, this meeting was almost. It was almost like Donald Trump went there to be a part of it, but unless everyone was like going to bow down to him, he just kind of was just like, eh. And you could see it in that one picture. I love that picture.
Yeah, I love it too.
Because it is where we are, where we're crossed arms going, no, we're going to either renegotiate because we have put tariffs on everyone, the EU, Canada, some of the Pacific folks. Like we pretty much were like, everyone, hold up. We're going to put some pressure on you guys unless you all start calming down and come talk to us. Now, is that the right way of going about it? I don't know. Again, I'm not an economic person. I can only tell you what I'm seeing and hearing. But there was a lot of, like I said, there was a lot of posturing. Now, while Donald Trump said that, he felt that this went pretty well, there's pictures and there's stuff that came out of it that will, say otherwise. In a very short period of time, Trump has clashed with his longtime allies, Britain, Canada, France, Germany, Australia, and on. And it's remarkable as the willingness to publicly explode the usual stage-managed international gatherings like G7, where he's pretty much going, I don't care. He's stared the G7 group down. He's not gonna back down without a better deal. And I think, unfortunately, while Merkel came out and said that this was, it was kind of sobering and depressing, I think everyone understood that they weren't going to get the U.S. and Donald Trump weren't going to cave that easily. Now, what does that mean for the, people playing at home? If you haven't noticed already, there's some things that have gone up in price. A lot of it is big business related and stuff you really won't see as the average person. But enough, if it goes on long enough, we'll get the residual effects, down the line as products start to cost more money and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of crazy. This G7 usually is where everyone, plays nice and we kind of talk how we're going to make the economies better. So hopefully we find a solution for this, and maybe maybe NAFTA wasn't the greatest solution. Maybe Donald Trump's right, and we have to do a single deal with Canada because what Canada offers and what Mexico offers is different. And I think maybe I don't know. Like, again, I'm not an economic person. If you have opinions, don't forget you put them in the comments on Mixer, Periscope, Facebook, on Facebook Live. Let us know what you think. But I'll tell you right now, maybe doing deals individually. You can't do that with the EU, but we have Canada and Mexico. We can do that with them. But it was really weird to watch, especially on Facebook. And then Trudeau's eyebrow running from his face. Get me off of this guy's face.
Okay, look, I'm sorry. Everyone cracks on the president's face and his hair and his obesity and all this other stuff.
The mighty Cheeto.
The Cheeto. They call him all these fucking names. And so the way I see it, it's fair game. If you want to crack on our president,
hell yeah,
you could crack on a Canadian.
Donald Trump's never had an eyebrow fall off of an eyebrow.
No, he's had whacked hair and shit.
He has had whacked hair.
His hair, he'll look like freaking. His hair is like flipping around. But
funny, he's a very clean cut. He's a very suave. He looks very presidential. He acts very presidential. Even though he kind of got some flack when he went to other countries and he was sporting the exact clothing everyone else was, and everyone was like, you're being a little weird. You don't have to go, full international. You can wear your suits, but he went full everything when he brought his family to like India and stuff like that. Trudeau did get some flack from that, but he's always come off very presidential. Like, I remember, not even too long ago, people were saying, "Oh, we wish we had a president like that. Or at least our president's fake eyebrow never fell off on TV." Just saying. That shit was on Twitter. That shit's gonna be on Twitter for a while.
You can't unsee that.
So presidential, the spirit gum on his eyebrow couldn't stay. Good job, Canada.
He's scared.
Canada, you suck at everything. You fucking hottie eyebrows. Your salons suck. If you don't have a Vietnamese person working in your salon, it is not a real salon. I'm just saying.
Oh, by the way, we got Freedom Hard on tonight. Wait, that didn't sound right. We have Freedom Hard on tonight. Well, I like how I wrote that.
We got Freedom Hard.
We had Freedom Hard. We have Freedom Hard on. We have Freedom Hard on us tonight. God, I can't believe I wrote it like that on the post. Tonight we have the guys from Freedom Hard. They're going to be coming on, comedians Chris White and Bobby Henline. If you guys don't remember, Bobby Henline came on here last year, and he was the individual. He was the comedian, the stand-up comedian that was injured in an IED attack and sustained burns on the majority of his body. And he's part of his shtick is making the burn jokes, joking about being burnt. So all fire and burnt jokes are completely 100% authorized. He's cool with it. So one of the things he likes to make, he was dropping several burnt jokes that got everybody kind of uncomfortable in the beginning of the show the last time he came on when he was our guest. But he's a good guy. Trust me, it'll be fun. I can't believe I wrote it like that. So Chris White and Bobby Henline for Freedom Hard. So I can't wait for these guys to come on. Trust me, you're not going to forget this show. These are two comedians. It's going to be hilarious. I think the last time he came on, we were doing was laughing. I only asked him like 4 questions, and the rest of it was just us laughing, just giggling, and shooting the shit. So make sure you stay tuned. That's going to be coming on 2100. So yeah, I think Trump scared his eyebrows off. That's what it was. I think D. Treasy gave him some shit, and the next thing you know, he started like, because and the reason why I say that is that when you wear fake stuff like that with natural adhesives, sweat and tension and nervousness,
it doesn't last forever.
It doesn't last forever.
He's wearing that for the whole day or whatnot.
Correct. And I think what it was is he got spooked or something got him rattled, and that was it. Because he's not looking at any. I really don't think he takes anybody seriously. You know how he kind of carries himself? He's kind of like, whatever.
Well, the G7 summit probably didn't go as many as countries were hoping it would go. I'm sure there's a lot of Americans that hope it went a little bit better, but that's in the past. And today, technically, if you're in Korea, it's your today. It's earlier today, but today's the day.
That's it.
The North Korean, Little Rocket Man's going to meet the Big Cheeto. Like this is, I won't lie. Like when I was in Korea in 2016 and I went to the DMZ and I saw, of course I had a big old camera. So, one of their guys at the DMZ brought out a big old camera. So I think we were trading shots at each other, but, I never thought we'd be here where we're already going to talk to somebody. So the U.S. President Donald Trump has said his historic summit with North Korean's leader Kim Jong-un in Singapore on Tuesday, today or tonight, I guess in our time, would show if a real deal could happen, as both sides sought to narrow the difference over how to end a nuclear standoff on the Korean Peninsula. While Trump was optimistic about prospects for his first ever meeting of a sitting U.S. and North Korean leader, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who trolled the shit out of the Canadian Prime Minister on Twitter. So I don't remember exactly what he said, but I know WTF Nation Radio at WTF Nation Radio on Twitter retweeted it. So go check it out because even I was like, damn. Interjected a note of caution saying it remained to be seen if Kim was sincere about his willingness to denuclearize. That is the big goal besides, ending the longest war that, the U.S. has ever had.
With Afghanistan coming up in the rear.
Yeah,
and Kosovo coming
close.
Yeah, so right now the contest of the longest war is currently we have Korea. And then,
Korea's in the lead.
Yeah, Korea's in the lead, and then coming in second is Bosnia Herzegovina and Kosovo, and running up at a close third is Afghanistan. So those are our affinity wars that we have.
Officials on the two sides held last-minute talks to lay the groundwork for the summit of the old foes, an event almost unthinkable just months ago when they were exchanging insults, threats, and raising fears of war. Now, if y'all remember, we were, to me, it felt like we were danger close to kicking off something. I won't lie. Even I was double-checking my bags, going, well, just in case if they need me, because everyone needs public affairs. I had my stuff ready to go. Staff-level meetings between the United States and North Koreans were going well and quickly, Trump said in a message on Twitter on Tuesday. But he also added, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We will know soon whether or not a deal unlike those of the past can happen. Donald Trump actually said that he knows if he's sincere or not within the first 5 minutes. So Donald Trump is very confident that he can sense whether, Kim Jong-un is serious or not. Now, you have to remember North Korea has a bad habit of going back on their promises.
Exactly, I was about to say.
So, they're not the most trustworthy kind of person. It's kind of like you're getting back together with that girl who's already cheated on you twice, but she promises she won't do it again. Maybe don't do it. After a flurry of diplomatic overtures that ease tension, the leaders are headed for a historic-making handshake that U.S. officials hope could eventually lead to dismantling of the North Korean nuclear program that threatens the United States and their allies in the Pacific. Because you have to remember we had that scare in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Not so long ago where somebody hit the bing, bing, bing button and everyone freaked out that they were about to get bombed, and Guam was worried they were going to be bombed. So it's a lot of tension. And South Korea's always lived under a guise of like, we know we could die at any second because there's 1,000, guns of artillery aiming at Seoul, but we're going to keep going and doing what we're doing, which I got to admire of the South Korean people. Let's see. And this is coming off Reuters.com. John Getty and Jack Kim are the words that I'm reading, and it's a good description as I throw in my own little paraphrasing on some of this stuff. Sanctions on North Korea would remain in place until the surrendering of nuclear weapons. North Korea, however, has shown a little appetite for surrendering nuclear weapons. It's considered vital to the survival of the Kim's dynasty rule. Mike Pompeo said if diplomacy does not move on in the right direction, those measures will increase, meaning there's more sanctions, and Donald Trump has said there's more sanctions in the back burner, ready to go, but we're going to hold off on them until we see what happens. It's Donald Trump's quote-unquote maximum pressure campaign, which, depending who you talk to, seems to be having a little bit of effect. North Korea's kind of, stepped on enough people's toes where even Russia and China signed off on a bunch of big sanctions that might have been the straw that broke the camel's back. The White House said later that discussions with North Korea had moved more quickly than expected, so much so that Donald Trump has actually not going to be in Singapore as long as previously thought. Some say that there was a lot. North Korea has already, is already kind of like bending over the table, going, "Let's go, let's make this happen, Daddy."
Your euphemisms are awesome tonight, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. So this Flash's thing is brought to you by Boot Tread. It's a Belgian amber ale and muscle relaxers because of my.
Oh shit.
I looks like I might get into getting surgery on my right knee. Yeah, thank you, Army.
Oh man, love it.
Cheers. So I'm on, but I haven't had. But I took that a little bit ago, so I'm coming down. So I'm a little weaky. Anyways.
To go into discussion about how I really think that everyone should everyone should kind of shut the fuck up and see what happens.
Well,
know what I mean?
Don't forget, we have our secret weapon on the ground. Dennis Rodman is there.
Exactly.
The
worm will be there.
The crazy man who was had crazy hair, wearing dresses when he was playing in the National Basketball Association,
banging Carmen Electra.
Might actually win a Nobel Peace Prize
Banging
for all
Madonna.
the work he's done to kind of bridge the gap. Remember, Dennis Rodman spent like a week or so
hanging out with their basketball team.
Yeah,
with their national basketball team.
He's went to North Korea like twice and was hanging out, watching the basketball game, chilling with the little Rocket Man. So I mean, Dennis Rodman and him are tight,
dude.
But he even said that he's happy to be there and hope he can help.
Yeah, but I think right now with all the opponents that the president has right now, I think everyone will probably shift that Nobel Peace Prize stuff to Dennis Rodman or try to argue. Well, here in the States, there have been people who've gone so apeshit on the way the president's been acting. Oh my, I can't even watch anything anymore. Oh, this just in, breaking news. Netflix is down across the U.S., Australia, and the U.K. Like, no shit, it's down.
That might be why my wife was stomping upstairs.
Netflix is out, so no binging. Well, that's what you got us for.
So Trump spoke with both South Korean President Moon Jae-in and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on Monday to discuss developments ahead of the summit. Now, they did say, one thing that's kind of, not making a lot of people happy, and I can understand it, is that Donald Trump's already said, and several of his officials already said, that there is going to be no talk of human rights and stuff like that. We all know North Korea is not really secret about it. If you're against the Kim dynasty, you're either going to die or you're going to be forced to be in a labor camp. And then your whole family, like as many people they can find, will go into the labor camp with you.
Yep.
It has served to keep the Kim dynasty in place for as long as it has, that totalitarianism, view. And it works, it's hard when you can't leave the country, you can't let anyone in. And North Korea, has made significant advancements in their ICBM capabilities. Many scientists do not believe that that they have the capabilities to put a nuclear warhead on the end of one, but enough to, but they have come up with rockets enough to, they think that, early hydrogen bomb type stuff they might be able to deliver. Anything North Korea can do is not a good thing.
Well, think about this, but do you honestly think that it's the way we're talking about what he's done to his people? Everyone likes to throw. So now, here's what's confusing about mass media all about, and I'm talking about world media right now. I'm talking about everybody: Reuters, AP, Al Jazeera, CNN, Fox News. I mean, they're all fucking stupid. They all piss me off. But isn't it kind of funny how back when the Olympics was going on, to spite the vice president, everyone was making a big deal about Kim Jong-un's sister, right?
They were saying that she stole the
show. Exactly. Exactly.
This is this murderous little short guy.
Yes, exactly.
Sister.
Exactly.
She has done nothing other than sit there and smirk and shit.
And let's keep going. Let's keep going further back. Iran. We did a so-called deal with Iran. Same fucking mentality. They still oppress their people. They were still fucking. They're burning American flags. And saying death to Israel. Let's go even further back. China, Tibet. How about that, huh? So before anybody starts talking about how the president's dealing with this one dude that is a destabilizing factor in the entire region, they need to shut the fuck up and look back at what they've said, who they've supported, why they said it was a good idea. This is good for America. It's good for Europe. It's good for Indo-PACOM. Did you see that? Did you hear about PACOM changing their name to Indo-PACOM?
Yeah, I saw that they this will bring more solidarity. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
yeah, whatever.
Now you gotta make all those public affairs people make change everything.
No, it just sounds like a damn a new Transformer. That's what it sounds like. Indo-Pacom roll out. You know, that's what it sounds like to me. But I think everyone needs to kind of just shut up on that aspect, because no one here as in like the government or past administrations or the media, they don't have any room to talk. If you
Like
look back,
we're at a point where this you have to start somewhere. Like, sometimes it's kind of like when you're looking at a basement full of stuff and you're like, you feel overwhelmed because there's so much you have to address. Yes, but you have to start somewhere. By at least, if you can at least agree to get, for them to take, to stop their nuclear, their nuclear threats, you've already are doing better than we have been for the last 50, 60 some years.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
exactly. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. You're probably gonna say.
We're making, like him or hate him, Donald Trump is actually making strides with the person that no one has been able to. Now, Bill Clinton came out and said that he had a chance to make something happen. I think that was about a week or a week and a half ago, where he said that he had a chance to make something happen when he wished he would have. That good, shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. Donald Trump has actually made a point to deal with this issue head on. Yes, we kind of, we rolled the dice, and we've played a tight game where I know there's a lot of people with their butt puckered, because there's a big chance for something to happen. It was a very volatile situation that has kind of cooled off. But now we actually have our sitting president talking directly with the leader of North Korea, and that's a big stride. Now, if we can get, and this could potentially move soldiers off of South Korea, that could potentially open up trade. That could potentially get, for a lot of Korean vets that have been, publicly vocalizing what they want. One of them is they want to be able to get people, bring more people back, bring, the remains of their fallen comrades back. There's families that know, like at the Chosin Reservoir, they know they have family there still. They want to bring back, and it has to start somewhere. And everyone trying to spite Donald Trump from. Because no matter what Donald Trump does, he's getting the boot.
Yeah,
he canceled. He's losing this.
Exactly.
Oh, he brought it back up. Oh, he's giving the world stage. Like, dude, media is like is bipolar. Like it is. No matter what, Donald Trump is wrong, and I don't spite people just because I don't like them. I go off their actions. Right now, this is one of the things that he's actually succeeding in.
I actually want to say one comment. I want to use one campaign line that has resonated with me so far. That's so far working. And when he was talking about, I can't remember where he was at. He was addressing African American workers, and people were kind of cross-armed and all that. And he looked him dead in the eye and he said, "What do you got to lose?" That's what's stuck with me right now. What do you have to lose? If everybody on the left, their fucking methods didn't work. If everybody on the right, their methods didn't fucking work. You know me, I'm in the middle. I don't care. Just make shit happen type of person. Then guess what? What have you got to lose? What so far have we lost? What have we gained so far? We've gained the negotiations. We've gained the fact that he's even welcome to having American companies in there. He's already been talking about negotiations with South Korea. He wants a fucking Whataburger or an In-N-Out or McDonald's in Korea. You know how many companies right now are lined up to get ready to do this? Worse than freaking Halliburton, Brown, and Root to do this. What have you got to lose? So, I've been open throughout this whole thing. Granted, like you said, maybe he's a little crass on some of his fucking tweets, or he's like that fucking old uncle. You just shut up, dude. You're fucking. He doesn't have the moxie, I guess, but maybe that's what we need.
Well, sometimes he stumbled and bumbled his way through this, but But for the big part is he's actually making something happen. It's, look, they took all. They said no, we're not going to do this summit. And now it's back on to the point where 27 minutes ago, North Korea's leader left for the summit location. Like, this is happening, people. And this is, I can't express, this is a historic event regardless of what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Donald Trump has come out and said that this is not going to be we're going to be able to fix everything. We're not going to be able to agree on everything this one shot, but it has to start somewhere. We can at least find them to give to a show of faith from them, and for us to go, okay, you do this and we'll do this, but we need to verify if they can at least start coming down to like one or two, if we can accomplish one thing, like one, hey, they agreed we're not going to do this and we agreed we're not going to do this when we're going to meet again at this location at this time. I call that a win, because whatever keeps U.S. troops from fighting a war that should have ended, should be done.
Yeah, exactly. Like Afghanistan. Just saying.
Yeah.
Like Afghanistan. Ready to fight tonight. Yarg.
No difference. No difference. Excuse me.
I gotta clear my throat. More Knob Creek.
I had globalism stuck in my throat. My bad.
I gotta clear my throat there. I gotta take a drink.
Thank you, Boot Thread. Available at Aldi. Shit's good too.
Oh, it is. So talking about real quick before we go on to break, the Knob Creek drink and all that shit. I was talking about needing to get some more Knob Creek, and no big deal. I was blabbing. I gotta go do this. And I'm talking to some friends. Hey, where you gonna go buy the classics? We're gonna swing by Post and go get some Knob Creek and blah blah blah. Somebody sent me a text, and I still had my Facebook app opened on my phone. What do I look down and what do I see? Knob Creek everything. Knob Creek t-shirts, Knob Creek fucking bottles, swag, glasses, fucking tours at the place. And I'm thinking, okay, Facebook, you don't have to spy me completely. You don't have to spy me all the time. Please don't completely spy me, because what if there's some shit that I want to say?
Dude.
Yeah, they don't. Did you know that Facebook has an account for everybody in the population waiting for you to open it? That's fucking scary, dude. They have Facebook accounts that are ready for you.
If you jump on Twitter, I can look at our analytics. I can tell what device most people use, what service they most use, what kind of employment they're in, what they shop for online, like categories. Like, it's kind of scary. Like, if you're on Twitter and you follow us, I know you.
Ooh,
I can see you. I can see the trends.
We could find you.
I can see the locations of a lot of people we're at. It's pretty scary. Like, it's pretty scary, and you kind of it's great for if you're a business that's on Twitter. You can kind of gauge your audience and stuff like that. Ours is no brainer. We have NatSec in defense. Journalists. We follow organizations, and and we're being followed by a lot more units.
Notice that.
I see you out there, 3ID. You're looking good. We're working with them to make something happen. 82nd's been showing us lots of love, and even 10th Mountain's starting to come around. First Cav is still being, wiry little minx, and won't come and let me. Come on, First Cav. You want to play.
We'll give them time. Give them time.
We'll give you time. I see you over there.
Yeah, I see. So
you ain't Cav. You ain't shit.
Yeah, don't push it. I tell you who's been loving it is the 82nd. Oh my God, they're awesome. It almost seems like we're kind of feels like we're kind of cool.
Damn, 82nd. We only went on 2 dates. We're not getting married right now.
I know. I love
Put away the ring.
Yeah, don't get on your knee, bro. Easy there, Iron Mike. Chill. No. So, anyways, I was saying is that it really tripped me out, the fact that it's a fact of life now. When you had Mark Zuckerberg testify before Congress talking about all this crap, and then he wasn't testifying because he wasn't under oath. He ended up giving a fucking Geek Squad class to a bunch of old people. So how do I turn this app on? How do I use the internet? And he was literally, his answers were 100% correct with no intent of deception, because he was right, because they didn't know how to ask it. That's your Congress, nation. That's your Congress. How do I set up my tools and stop my this? Well, are you stopping me from using the internet? He's like, nobody's stopping you from using the internet. I love it. His quips were awesome. So it really was one of those things to where you can't get mad if you signed up for it. You kind of expected it. It's like the dangers that you take, or the risk that you take when you jump on the highway. Especially when you're like driving like.
Oh yeah. So today speaking of social media, I got so you can here's a tip from your friendly PAO briefing for social media. If a random person that you never heard of before has no attachments to you, has a profile that has like less than like 50 pictures, and it's some random hot girl saying hi, I'm gonna tell you, it's probably somebody scamming you. If you get hit up more than once at the same time, it's probably the same person using a couple different profiles scamming you. Because today I had two the pictures of two younger attractive females saying hello. I then said yeah, I said hello ISIS. They didn't. I said hello ISIS to both of them. One proceeded to ask me questions, and I proceeded to give them really crazy answers to the point where I then told them, it's like, hey, I know you're a scammer. I said, I appreciate it. And then they got all pissy and they can't even speak regular English or type regular English. So I start deducing exactly who they are. Not like I know the person, but like the character types. I must have struck a nerve because at the same time, both of them blocked me. And it disappeared. So you just, stay away. You got to be careful because there's always people trying to get information from you. And I deduced that they were trying to steal my identity by asking me questions like if I'm married, if I have kids, where I'm from. I said I was from the black, cold depths of Hades, and don't think they believe that answer. But that's where all good PAOs come from.
Depends.
Oh, and and Ender on the Facebook Live has been trying to get your attention. Don't know if you noticed. Hello, everyone on Facebook Live.
Oh shit! Yeah, hey, buddy. Well, dude, no shit. My shit was locked.
Well, it's like it's like
my shit.
Was it Stewie from not Stewie from Mad TV? Look at me! Look at me!
Oh shit! Hi, everybody. Oh my god! Now I just clicked my chats and now they all just came up.
Yeah, there's Katie Ann's over here.
Oh shit! Let me say it. So hi,
Andrew's
Katie. Hi,
here.
Amanda. Hi, Kaz. Hi. Ender. How you doing, Ender?
That was a little awkward. Do I need to go step into the other room?
No, he's LGBT, man. So I could, and I talk to him like that. So
I know you can. That's why I said, do I need to step in the other room?
No, he's cool. He's cool shit.
I'll sign off for a little bit. No.
No.
Ender's good. Show. You go talk to Ender.
Ender's good people. At WTF Nation Radio, we don't care. We don't care. What's up, Dale? Man, Dan, Mike, God, Branko, fucking Ari, shit, dude, what's up, Dale? Damn, I don't know, all my shit just started locking up, and now I just clicked one button, and now, God, Katie, hey, God, sorry, guys, shit.
That's what you got me for.
Damn.
I got you.
Man, so anyways.
Hello to everyone, the guys on Mixer 2.
Mixer 2.
One person watching on Periscope. What's up?
What's up?
We love you. Keep going.
It's probably Jose. Jose does a lot of road traveling, and he says that when it's the right time and he's able to catch it, he said he loves he just tunes into us.
Hell yeah. James Montgomery, what's up?
What's up? God, man, didn't even see that. Yeah, God, man. I still love you. Oh, still appreciate it, guys. Love you all. Ender. So, anyways, we're going to take a break right quick so we can get our guests to come on. And then we'll be back with, the guys from Freedom Hard.
Freedom Hard.
Shut up, Katie. I'm fucking on Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
But I
nothing at all. And you can fight, you can hide that you're naked. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. You can fight, you can hide that you're naked. If you bleed, you won't feel it, you won't see me at all. You can fight, you can hide that you're naked.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.
And we're back with part 2 of the Monday edition. And joining us right now, we have our guests, Chris White and Bobby Henline. What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's happening?
Bro, dude, long time no see, my Burton buddy. How you been, man?
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Been flaming around.
Oh,
sparks here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Always keep sparking, brothers. What you said, keep the spark alive. Hey, hey, Chris, I don't think we've ever had you on before.
No, this is you're popping my cherry now.
That's what I'm talking about. So tell us about yourself, man.
Yeah. So, I'm born and raised in Texas. After high school, joined the Marines for 4 years. Pretty basic in terms of what I didn't do, I guess, in the service. Got out in 2008 and went to work in the oil field at the same time finishing my degrees. Climbed corporate ladder in corporate America for oil and gas. After doing that for about 9 years or so, became a consultant, doing that for a little bit, and then created Freedom Hard, and here I am.
Okay, so how'd you link up with our crispy friend here?
I think we've been following each other since we've kind of kicked off our brands.
It's the fireworks attraction. You know?
Well, I mean, come on, we'll just smoke this fire.
Rocket in his butt cheek, you know, I'm sold.
So you guys would just follow each other up and all that, and just decided to say, hey, what was the what brought him on? Because they know he's been on before, so he's already given us clearance to do all the burnt jokes. Because I mean, so don't get offended because he's already said we could do it. So what was the attraction bringing him on? What was the hey? What was the you're right. What was the spark that brought him on?
I think. Well, I mean, outside, literally it was probably the firework video. Figuratively, I think that there's a lot of synergies amongst our characters of like who we are as, not just people, but veterans, but also what we like to do with using humor as a coping mechanism for the creation of who we are and the brands that we represent. So sometime last year, almost a year ago, basically, I got in touch with Bobby as I was kind of, stirring up the hornet's nest a bit with the creation of not just Freedom Hard, but also the nonprofit that I have for being an ambassador for and an advocate for veteran suicide prevention. And we kind of just linked up. And since day one, Bobby's been one of the biggest, if not the biggest fans of Freedom Hard ever since inception, basically.
I mean, how do you get excited? Just Freedom Hard. You just say it. It feels good. It's coming out of your mouth. That just sounds good. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course. Because I wrote that on a fucking on our post to share, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, the way I wrote it, we have the guys from Freedom Hard on,
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's so many freaking.
That was the real reason why they made it that. They just so people can say hard on.
Yeah, exactly.
Freedom hard on.
Freedom
Hell
hard
yeah.
on. Freedom hard on. So.
Damn it, they're on to us, Bobby. We have to start over.
So Bobby, was it kind of like a no-brainer? You just said, "Yeah, I want to fucking try it," or did you expect it to get this big?
No, there's definitely a no-brainer. I mean, I was bugging Chris all the time. Like, he probably got annoyed with my dumb ideas all the time. You should do this in the video. You should try this. He's like, who's this guy bugging me?
So he brought you.
I was stealing his ideas, writing them to make them look like they're mine.
Well, true Blue Falcon on his most.
Yeah.
So tell.
Funny because we're both told like the opposite. Like, you know, Chris is that guy everybody wants to hate, and he acts crazy, but he's really smart and educational. And here I am. Look, I can't even say that right. Educational. Is that even a word?
Educational.
It is now.
So, what's better, fire against your tongue? But anyways, so hey, so real quick, tell us about your nonprofits, man. I see you got like 6 of them on your nonprofits. You got the EOD Warrior Foundation.
Yeah, EOD Warrior Foundation is one of them. There's
Florida
there's
for
a few
Warriors.
of them. Yeah,
Hope for Warriors.
Hope for the Warriors, Warrior Suicide Prevention Foundation. Yeah, so we basically started to, when the idea was, okay, I'm going to enter the coffee business. How am I going to do this? I can't just be the next guy that says, now I'll come buy my coffee and scream at the top of my lungs off, standing on some kind of platform. That's not good enough. And so.
Oh, really? Go figure. Go ahead. Continue. Yeah. This is good. Continue.
Yeah. So, we had to figure out how to make it pretty dynamic and different, right? The 2 pillars that Freedom Heart has been built on is doing things differently and then also through partnerships. And so I thought, okay, what are the competitors doing? How do I enter this and really make a splash in the water by penetrating this market? And so I thought, okay, we'll partner with these nonprofits. Instead of me being a one-man show at the time to run around everywhere trying to advertise coffee, I can partner with these nonprofits, allow the consumer the flexibility of selecting which nonprofit they want $1 per bag to be donated to. But then I become 6 people all in one, strategically all located over the U.S. because they help me market the product that benefits their nonprofit.
See, and then here's me. I'm going to penetrate the market with a Freedom Heart on.
So did you? So you have apparel? You got okay. Now was this a joke on you, Bobby? Is it you got candles? you got cigars, you got coffee, you got gear, and then you have something for the crayon eaters.
Yeah, the Crayon Eaters is going to be kind of like a spinoff of what we've started to test the waters with, specifically to the theme of Marines, right? Crayon Eaters, and so we're probably about to spin off doing that. So we also have whiskey that's part of the mix too, and obviously we can't sell that online at the current moment. But yeah, those are the products that we have offered basically to complement our portfolio.
Now, what from there? Who did you have? Did you have some assistance? Did you just kind of like Did you throw in your own cash to this, or did you reap off of Bobby's stand-up comedy money? And
that's why we're going nowhere.
Yeah,
we're broke.
We're broke.
Pretty much all over the map, with the uniqueness of what my business model entailed in the very beginning. I didn't have to put up too much upfront cost outside of just like marketing and branding and stuff. I partnered with different organizations, kind of what I label as an affiliate, hybrid between affiliate marketing and royalties. So I didn't really have to put up too much of the upfront cost because my responsibilities was marketing, right? And so we've kind of evolved from a decentralized business model to very much centralized now. Now we own 100% cradle to grave, all of it. So yeah, it's growing pains, but it's rapid growing pains is what it is. But yeah, we've funded it in different ways, some agreements, some contracts, partnerships, equity, and that good stuff.
You get like crazy looks when you're pitching something and you and Bobby are sitting there and someone says, "Well, how do we know you're a vet?"
I think we get those crazy looks way before we start talking about who's a vet and who's not.
Say vet or meth head? What happened?
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember when you were talking about that, Bobby, when someone would say, "Well, where were you at?" and you're like, "Burnt," and you kept telling them, "It was the bar story you were telling us about," and you were like,
Yeah.
I was." Well, how do we know you were? How do we know you were wounded? You're like, "Bitch,
Yeah, no,
I'm burnt."
Birth effect.
Here, let me
My
show
mother
you.
used to work in the circus as a fire eater when she was pregnant.
You just prove that you're not blind, and that's how we know.
Yeah, exactly. So now have you incorporated like VSOs, other veteran service organizations to kind of kick it up to help you guys out? I mean, I didn't know you guys were I mean, I knew Bobby, you were doing your stuff and all that, but I didn't know you were partnering with Chris White to do this. This is once I started the research for it, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
like
it's
I said,
pretty-
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's pretty fresh. Bobby officially joining the team.
Yeah.
What day was it when we did? It was right around one of those holidays, and I can't remember which one it was. Good Friday? Was it Good Friday or before then?
I'm gonna go with Good Friday.
Yeah, we'll just say Good Friday. Yeah, well, so it's pretty recently, right? It's only been a couple of months.
Yeah.
You know, under 3 months basically. But you know, my involvement within the veteran community with a plethora of VSOs all from coast to coast has been kind of the platform for creating the brand even before I knew it. So, you know, you backtrack 2 years, way before anyone ever said Freedom Hard. This was starting to build up the image, the theme, and everything. Little did I know, you know, a year down the road, I would create, you know, Freedom Hard that's kind of launched itself into what we now see as a reality.
Yeah, and just living my life and what I was doing and working, you know, with all the different nonprofits and stuff and the comedy and making those connections and just trying to figure out where I'm going to go next. It just made sense. I mean, that's what Freedom Heart is, living that life to the fullest, being patriotic, you know, helping others as we go, reaching down and giving another guy a lift up. It's just a natural fit.
Yeah, and you're kind of noticing now that and this is one of the stuff we talk about. We talked about this last week, and also that we had 2 celebrities that killed themselves, and everyone was calling that a fucking national tragedy. And then all of a sudden,
Right.
you know what I mean? We talked about how many times we have how many lives have take themselves daily, and so you're or the Warriors Suicide Prevention Foundation. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that's yeah, sure. It's an organization that's headquartered out of Nevada. It's a foundation where they've kind of taken either programs or other entities all kind of working together with their own respective swim lane in an effort to prevent veteran suicides. But it's kind of evolved to where it's not just veteran suicide, hence the word warrior, because it also expands the horizon a bit to cover, you know, law enforcement officers, first responders, etc. At the current moment, my nonprofit, the Veteran Suicide Prevention Project, is one of the, I guess, subsidiaries is how you would label it, that's part of that foundation. And so there's a bunch of different things all over the map. You know, the process of preventing veteran suicides isn't just kind of like one swim lane. It takes a collective effort amongst a lot of people, different efforts, practices, and so they all kind of worked hand in hand with each other for that one cause, that one mission at the end of the day.
Do you think it's like, and it's just me? Maybe it's because I'm kind of like a realist and a pessimist at the same time, with a little bit of optimism. And then I look at Bobby, then I'm like, okay, I'm not really that. You know, I should look on life a little bit higher. Do you think these people are fucking it up for us, like the outsiders? Are they just not getting us? That's what it seems like to me. Does it? I mean, if it's just me or not, that sometimes outside organizations, understanding and they're trying to help, don't grasp it.
So I'll weigh in, but I'm also interested to hear Bobby's opinion as well on the subject.
Yeah, go for it.
I think let me preface with this: suicide is a tragedy. Okay, those 4 words are very factual. Suicide is a tragedy. You notice how I didn't label a specific type of demographic in front of suicide. For anyone to decide to take their life, the ramifications of just even considering that, whether it's spoken or not, is extremely much a tragedy. I mean, it's very hard to comprehend that, and unfortunately, as a society, we don't fully understand what it really means for somebody to go through that. I mean, we really don't. I mean, because there's 1,000,000,009 different reasons why someone is pushed over to the ledge where they say, you know what, fuck it, I'm doing it, whatever. So, put that to the back burner. We've gotten into this habit of just saying, oh, he's a veteran, he died from PTSD. What? Do you know what PTSD is? Do you have a clue as to what post-traumatic stress is? Because you're just saying it's post-traumatic stress, when realistically, what we've started to, I think, and very, very recently started to uncover is the fact that people are doing this as in the veteran community. People are pushing themselves over the ledge to coming up with the idea of committing suicide because of the transition struggles from the service to becoming a veteran, whether that entails financial burden, whether that entails loneliness, isolation, drug abuse, alcoholism. It could be many of those things. These people, a lot of them haven't even seen war or haven't even gone through something very, very, very traumatic, but it's a buildup of all these other things as well. So that confusion for us all to recognize as a reality is something that we first have to start to understand and stop prematurely saying, oh, he wore the uniform before, so now he's a veteran. Oh, he died from post-traumatic stress. Stop listening to the media, because the media is very influential in saying that kind of stuff, and it's not true. It's really not. If you really started to take a fine-tooth comb to it, you'd see the hierarchy is the transition struggles, and PTS is one of many, many different weights that go into that formula right there.
No, I totally agree with what you're saying, Chris. It is, that's just a part of it. PTS is just a part of it. It's all the other things that come along life that everybody deals with. And I think at the moment, of course, you can't. I mean, once they die by suicide, you really can't figure out why. What was their last thought?
Exactly.
That's the hard part. But I know just by talking to others and myself, it's kind of, you get to the point where you think you're actually helping your loved ones, that you're a burden to them. I had dark days where I went through that, and I thought it'd be easier if I wasn't here for them to move on. So to me, that's what I see in that side of it. But yeah, I think as far as the connection, again, we're trying to make that clear on what it is exactly. It's that disease, whatever, that depression that's hitting them. And like, I think that's a big one Chris hit on, is that transition, when we're lost in that transition, trying to figure out what to do next in our lives when we get out. It's a whole nother world trying to make that transition.
Oh, it is. It is.
People get stuck in it, for sure.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that when the fashion designer and then the celebrity food traveler, everyone all of a sudden everyone just started like honing in and started going about how this was, and that's why I asked the questions, because I almost feel like they're not, and you guys hit it too. It's that transition point. And Katie's got a good point in there. It's that PTSD now has been like a blanket term for fucking everything,
right?
And I hate it. It's like if there's something, like for you, like you said, Chris, it could be something that someone's having an issue transitioning and not realizing that, hey, maybe you had to save about a couple paychecks before you went out into the civilian world, and maybe you won't have to worry about losing your stuff or being evicted from your from rent and all that, because they didn't get that gain. You know what I mean? So.
Sure.
And I've seen it. Because I'm still in. So I've chaptered soldiers out, and I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I kind of protect them. I even tell their leaders to protect them, because I say, hey, if he's got an appointment to go look at a fucking house, or he's gonna look at an apartment, and he's got to go fly somewhere to go get a job, let him go do it. Because once they sign off post, once they leave that gate, once they walk onto Rancier Road, that's it. They're gone. They're out in the world. They're not going to have anybody to back them up.
Right. That's when they get alone.
Yeah, exactly. And then, and you kind of think about it too. Your friends, they're cool with you when you were in the unit, but you're kind of like not with them anymore. You're kind of like you're not. What can you do? What can you? I mean, they can only help you so much. So they have the struggle, and that's what that's like very good point, Katie. I hate that blanket. Well, it's just PTSD. He's got whatever.
Well, that now I understand what you women go through. Every time you get mad, it must be PMS. I can't get mad without it has to be PTSD.
Oh, that is like the best way of saying that ever. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But
yeah, that's right.
I just get mad because you're being stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. I'm gonna say it's PTSD. No, but I mean,
I think we just gained like 1,000 new followers on Facebook actually right now.
PTSD is just like PMS.
They get us. They get us.
Exactly. They really like us.
The code.
Well, it's PTSD. We got you, bitches. No, sorry. Anyways, but the whole thing is that I don't like, and that's the whole thing. That's why I was so happy to have you guys come on, is because, having Bobby on before, and he was telling us the deep stuff when he first came on, and I was like, God, and if there's any story that would be Bobby's story, without a doubt. And I got, dude, I'm telling you, my hat's off, salute you, standing at parade arrest, whatever you want to call it. Hey man,
I'm going to call it fanning the flame. Thank you.
I don't want to light the fuse, but but when you told us about your stuff, dude, like I said, I didn't feel. I was like, fuck. So again, I don't. I just think that sometimes overhelping sometimes makes it worse, like you said. Sometimes it just overhelping it, you become dude, stop. You're not helping me. You're actually getting me distracted because everybody knows that when you get out, what does a veteran say? A veteran's got, okay, I got to go do this. I got to go do that. I got to go do this. I got to do that. Well, when people start interfering, then you're kind of like, well, I wanted to go do this and I wanted to go do that, but now I can't do that. Was it hard for you, Chris, when you got out?
I had a very unique path in terms of my transition. The day of me leaving Parris Island, South Carolina, after serving 4 years in, I only knew pretty much one thing in life. I only knew one thing. I knew that I'm not going back into the Marine Corps, and that's it. I knew nothing else, right? So I'm literally driving like 13 whatever hours it is to get from South Carolina to Texas, trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I just had no idea. I was fortunate to where, living in Houston, you pretty much, for the most part, you go work in medical field or you go work in oil and gas. And so I'd already got a year of education under my belt for my last year in, and I knew that I wanted to continue doing that while working. So a lot of my, I guess you could label it success, I've been fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. So my transition I would label it very, very different from almost anyone else that, I've worked with, worked for, that's in a veteran community, etc. It's different, but by no stretch of the imagination am I saying I've not struggled at sometimes where I severely struggled, and a lot of it's self-infliction as well, right? I'd get some promotions and like have a bad taste in my mouth and turn that fuel into motivation to go climb that corporate ladder, and then I got promoted maybe a little bit too fast as well, and my ego wouldn't quite balance out on the scales, and I would get butthurt, if you will, and saying, God damn, I was supposed to be promoted to a director now, like And in the bigger scheme of things, I mean, I'm still the youngest senior manager in like the company that I work for, and I'm too eager to get that next thing because pie in the sky, right? So
yeah, exactly.
So some of those things were kind of like my transitional struggles. And again, a lot of that's self-inflicted. So again, I kind of say my transition was very, very different from almost, for the vast majority of other veterans out there.
Tell us about the future so far. I mean, what are you looking? I mean, I know you guys just started. What's your mission statement? What are you hoping to do?
Yeah, so the definition of Freedom Heart is basically using humor as a platform to display patriotism. And why humor is because humor is such a powerful tool to be used as a coping mechanism. I mean, it's almost like it doesn't really matter what's going on in anyone's life. Patriot, veteran, non-veteran, just a kid, a grandparent, it doesn't really matter. Whatever dark environment you might be in, for whatever reason, if I can take your mind off of it for just 5 fucking minutes and make you laugh, then at least that 5 minutes, I've taken you out of that nasty environment. So if I can do that also by partnering with people like, Bobby, of course, to instill patriotism and make it grow, to me, that is the holy grail. It's the ultimate win-win. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if like I'm making a lot of money doing that. Like that to me is like the holy grail. That's exactly what I would love to see. Bring back patriotism the way it was, before these last, 9 years or so. And so the future for Freedom Heart is quite bright, actually. I've had this conversation now probably 3 times with Bobby. Like, hey, we need to stop for a second, think about how fast we've moved in just barely over a year of being incorporated. And so through social media, through brand recognition, we're now making this massive evolution to where we don't just exist solely on social media. So, we're launching, products that are being sold in brick and mortars all across the globe now. I mean, we just came back from London last week, partnering with the UK veterans and patriots that are over there, which is pretty cool. So we're on the cusp of really going global with some of the cool partnerships that we're trying to do, but also being advocates for what we believe our core values are. And like I said earlier, suicide is a tragedy. It doesn't matter, what kind of suicide it is. Suicide as a whole is a tragedy. And no one ever deserves to hear that phone call that something like that takes place. So we'll continue to use that platform to be advocates for stuff like that. Independent if you like our brand or not, to be honest with you. Like, we don't really care. And we'll always be...
One of the main things, too, is, trying to get rid of the word commit suicide. It's not a crime. They died by suicide. whatever's going on with them at that time that built up to where they felt they needed to take their lives, but they didn't commit a crime. So that's trying to get rid of committed.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. We have a comment in there, a question from Ari. It says, making no offense by all this, but vets are so happy to get out and it's confusing. We're also connected on many levels, or it's just me. He's just curious and he doesn't mean any offense. So I guess it seems like the outward appearance is that we're all excited to get that DD-214, and then when it comes crashing down.
Well, yeah, you're excited first. You're not realizing you think it's going to be a piece of cake. And, it's like doing your 4 years of college and, yay, I graduated. I'm going to go now. You went in, you enlisted, you did your 4 years. Yeah, I did that in the beginning. I got out after Desert Storm in '92, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm never going back. Woo! I'm like, wait, what do I do now? And I was only 20 years old. I've already, at 19 years old, I was a divorced alcoholic war veteran. I knew what I was going to do after that. So I just started doing odd jobs, roofing, whatever I can find, doing all kinds of weird stuff to make a living. I just kind of lost and was missing it. I didn't think I'd really going to miss it, that camaraderie and be able to serve on that level of capacity for the world. I mean, one of the best things about being out in the war zone was the humanitarian stuff.
So I'm just going to chime in real quick to give my piece, the biggest piece of advice that I can offer to somebody that might be within arm's reach of getting that DD-214. It's not the DD-214 that gets you so excited. It's what you are building yourself up for the excitement that falls right after that, right? So you're so excited about the next chapter of your life. It doesn't matter the DD-214. You're excited to enter that next chapter, and you're working yourself up, because I know I did it as well, and I was probably one of the worst ones. You're so excited for that next level of change that's getting ready to take place. But here's my biggest piece of advice. Don't let yourself believe that you have to nail everything perfectly as soon as you get out of the military. You don't have to finalize that next chapter. You can take a very long time to figure out what it is you want to do in life after that. Most of what I did was figuring out what I didn't want to do. And I spent practically 9 years figuring that out before I said, okay, Freedom Heart is exactly what I want to do. It took me 9 years. Yeah, I mean, I had some success along the way, but the biggest piece of advice that I can let everybody know is like, hey, don't get so worked up for that next chapter post receiving that DD-214 in your hand that you're not going to meet your own expectations. Don't have such high expectations for you that were forced upon you as well while you wore the uniform to think that you have to nail everything with nothing but success. That's bullshit.
Well,
that's not what life is. That's not real.
Yeah, the process of elimination there, you find out a lot of stuff you thought you wanted to do. You don't realize it until you get a chance to try it. Yeah, it's definitely a trial and error. And yeah, you're right. Accept that. No, that's going to happen.
I mean, because that's one of the problems. I guess you get two types of people that come. When they get the DD-214, they either have a plan and they expect to conquer the world in a year and a half, or they have no idea what they're doing, and before they know it, they're in the weeds and they're lost. And it's kind of hard finding both, tiptoeing that line of keeping your expectations, knowing what you can do, but having a plan. And I sometimes I hated when I had soldiers getting out and you had to ask them simple things. Hey, have you gotten checked? Because I know some of them have gotten messed up, in our times either downrange or training. A lot of people just don't do the work. I mean, what would you, well, I guess what kind of advice can you give to somebody? You got kids that are, that listen to the show and they're getting close to getting out and they're teeter-tottering between, a lot of them are still even afraid to get seen about their own selves,
right?
Their own mental state. Because you're right, the media always paints it as PTSD is the big broad stroke that we're gonna call this. It's all PTSD. That's it, and there's nothing to it. What would you say to somebody that is dealing with that? They're afraid. I guess they're almost where they're afraid of that stigma to go get seen and go talk to somebody.
Bobby, you want to take a stab at it?
I definitely wouldn't. Don't worry about the stigmatism that comes with that. You definitely need to get out there and get yourself checked out. It's normal, it's natural. Figure out what it is, and the more you talk about it, the easier it is to get through it. You'll learn some tools. There are tools out there that can help you no matter what you're struggling with. Talking to other veterans that are already out. Definitely get with friends. You got friends already got out, or just hitting some of us up online. There's plenty of us out there. If you see us online, you follow us, hit us up. Say, well, hey, I got this going on. What do you think about this? And we'll talk to you. I know I answer my stuff. I know there's a lot of guys. I know you see Take Machine out there, talking to a lot of people and just being forward and honest to what it's like. Reach out. We got brothers and sisters out there. Go as American Legions. Those old guys will tell you what it's like, straightforward. But I think that's the best. Be prepared. Try to do your best with saving. I know we don't make a whole lot of money, and it's hard to save. We're young, especially we just do those 3 or 4 years. And we're not thinking that far ahead. But it's time to start thinking about that.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, start creating your support system now. Start creating your support system right this second. I don't care if you just hit your 6-month mark in. Start creating your support system now. Because guess what? Worst case scenario is it can change 900 times between now and whenever you get out. And then maybe you actually decide to stay in and then get out 4 years later or whatever. Start creating your support system now, because at the worst case scenario is you're networking and you're figuring out what's out there and who's capable of what. You can come to your own conclusion about whatever you know, what kind of merit you add to that or whatever. But at least you're starting to, you know, provide foresight and figure out what's out there beyond whenever you're done, you know, wearing that uniform.
Yeah, definitely work on any education you get while you're in. Get that under your belt when you can.
And one thing you guys seem to are doing really well is, like you said, you know, you guys are very, you know, you're doing great connecting with all these other organizations and all these other veterans. I think what you guys do is really awesome, and I love the name Freedom Hard.
Right.
That's still pretty badass.
Yeah. No, it is. I like it. It's got a ring to it. You know what I mean?
It's got a certain ring to it.
It does.
A little ring of liberty to it.
Yeah,
right?
some American in there. It was American.
Yeah.
So, so you guys, what are you guys gonna do after this? I know I gave you kind of like you gave me the long-term speech, but what you got any events? You got anything you're gonna go to? You gonna attend anything in the next few weeks to kind of? Can you give us some hints of some dates of what you guys are gonna be doing? You guys could do your shouts out and then do your promos before we let you all go.
Yeah.
What do you guys
so we both, Bobby and I both have very, very hectic schedules. I mean, we are always on the go. I mean, like I said, me and some other people, we just came back from London, and then it was playing catch up until I'm still playing catch up, and I still will over the next few days. So Friday, we're making several cool videos that we're going to launch probably 5 or 6 days before July 4th. One of them is going to be very, very impactful. I'm very excited and looking forward to it. So we're going to film in that one happening this Friday. I've got 2 more videos that I'm filming either before or after. It depends on like when I can squeeze them in. So for July 4th, Freedom Hard is going to be present in Bastrop, Texas at Black Tree Ranch. We partnered with Kevin Fowler, who's going to be singing out there, which is a huge, huge thing for us. That's going to be on July 4th, right outside of Austin, Texas. Down the road, there's a Voices for Veterans event that's being put on here in Alvin, Texas. That's September 1st and 2nd, I believe. And then also as we get into, so first week of October, there's going to be some cool competitions happening at Texas Motor Speedway where Bobby and I and some others will be some cool judges on some different categories within the veteran community, working with VSOs and stuff. And it's really,
Bikini
really cool.
contest.
Yeah, oh hell yeah. We'll be tasting alcohol, basically being judges on it and that kind of stuff. There's some beard competitions and stuff.
Beard competitions? Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So and then drinking poison for the community.
Yeah,
of course.
It's what we do. It's the sacrifices to our bodies. Yeah.
Some people will just never understand.
Yeah. And then obviously when we get into November, it gets really exciting with Veterans Day approaching and Marine Corps birthday and all that good stuff. We got some events. Where was that? It's out right outside of Atlanta, right, Bobby? In November 9th, I think.
Yes, yeah. There's golfing out there. I'm bad at remembering dates and places. I know what I got to do like in 2 days. I got to look at the calendar. Oh my God.
Wait, so you
I
got
just
wait.
flew to LA today. I'm like still like jet lag going. Where am I again? What's today?
Yeah, exactly. So while we're talking, do you know like the news and Twitter and Facebook and all social media is going on fire right now because Kim, little Kim and freaking the D Treasy is meeting in Korea right now.
Yes.
As we speak. What do y'all think about that?
I think they're not listening to us right now.
Perfect answer.
That was awesome. No, I mean, come on, serious. You guys, I mean, because we rarely get any, because we always, on the Monday edition, all we do is, talk shit about politics and stuff like that and opinions.
No,
and all
seriously, like that. Yeah. I think it's great. You got to have those negotiations. You got to have a leader that does that. Business smart and listens. One thing I really like, we could admit, Trump is not presidential. He doesn't speak presidential, but he's a businessman. And he listens to the people he put in charge. those generals, he listens to them, and that's where he gets his information from. He's not pulling the stuff out of his rear end. He's listening to the people he put in charge, and that's what makes a difference. He listens to the guys on the ground.
My opinion is that I'll never know what presidential is because I'm never going to be the president. So my opinion on what the profile should be only comes down to making shit happen with America's being in your first best interest, basically. And so I can see that from all. Not 100%. I mean, there's some things where I will, of course, disagree, but goddamn, the things I do disagree on, you can rest assured I'm laughing my ass off, sitting in my house while, watching it, of course. So to me, it's like the people that get butthurt over some of these things, I'm like, really, is that really so offensive to you that you have to go running around like the world's on fire? Like, come on. I mean, at least just laugh at it. Like,
no, exactly.
Yeah,
Well, you had
or I hate you because you don't agree with me. You don't think the same way I think.
Yeah. Well, they had like Robert De Niro losing his shit on the fucking Tony Award stuff, and I'm thinking, dude, man, you guys are really.
And what was Robert De Niro doing at the Tony Awards, anyways?
Yeah, what to say? I guess he could dance.
He was doing Tony.
Yeah, or something. Oh my god, man.
They let anyone on those stages these days.
No, it just again, I was just getting your all's because we rarely. I mean, because sometimes we'll have guests come on.
We rarely have breaking active news while we're like Monday is when the news goes and takes a break.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Monday night, it's like, all right, we're all gonna chill. We'll see you back on Tuesday, and then the rest of the shows throughout the week get all the cool stuff. So I will say, because I won't lie, I've been watching and listening at the same time. So my head's been kind of a spin, but they did meet. They actually did. They did touch hands, which apparently the media is like losing their shit over. But they went off, and now they're in a 45-minute one-on-one talk with one interpreter to kind of start this whole thing off. It's pretty cool. We never actually get breaking news while the Monday edition is happening. Usually, Minx and Tied Up Tuesday usually gets all the fun.
Yeah.
I just want to see them having drinks together in a nuclear tanning bed. Like that'd be awesome.
they're actually drinking moonshine right now.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Now, does he speak English?
Let me give the drink of my people.
Were you able to
drinking Freedom Hard Patriotic Whiskey?
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, so you only got one distributor out in Houston that has that stuff. Well, I mean, you're gonna pass them around to any other place too, like Fort Carson or in like. You guys gonna get with the AFIs to say, hey fuckers, sell our shit.
There could be potentially some conversations that are already way down the rabbit hole to make some of those things a reality. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Right now, definitely out through Texas, they're at Total Wine.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, all Total Wines within Texas now basically have them on the product on the shelf. Next step for that is obviously having conversations with corporate to go through Total Wines outside of Texas, and then try to get it onto some other these big time liquor chains like Specs and stuff like that. But yeah, there's been some conversations with some representatives at AFIS as well. Obviously, if I could snap my fingers, we'd have all of our products in all 181 of their main stores globally, of course. But,
well, I mean, most of their stuff is all bureaucratic. They got to go through something, make sure they're not pissing off somebody else because everyone else is. Yeah, it's a.
Sure.
It's a freaking racket with them, but because I mean, it's hard for me to believe that they got a fucking commander. That's my biggest thing that pisses me off. It's if you're either a business or you're not. So.
Right.
Yeah, depending what you're selling. So if it's if you guys are on going on TV and screaming like you were saying, being those individuals screaming at the top of their lungs in a car trying to sell something, AFIS doesn't like that very much.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
But so tell us about the coffee real quick. I'm throwing these are some throwaway questions that I had. So give me your coffee flavors.
Yeah, so we've got Fire Roast, Flame Roast, Independence Roast, Patriotic Roast, and 1776 Roast. So the last three is what I call the Constitution Edition, and then the first two is the Man on Fire or the Well Done Edition, basically is Bobby's.
It's a Man on Fire. I love it.
Yeah.
It brings out your beast mode, bitch.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of our coffee is all of it's currently sourced from Honduras, which is rated pretty much like the #3 country in the world for producing coffee. It's very, very high quality coffee. If anyone's out there interested in trying, there's basically no acid left in it. It's completely been extracted. This is not like coffee that you go buy at the grocery store. It's just not like that at all.
Oh man, that's what I'm talking about. Well, hey guys, you guys stand in line we're gonna take a break, and then but definitely we appreciate you coming on, Chris White, Bobby Henline from Freedom Hard, and you guys are always welcome to come back.
Freedom Hard.
You guys are always welcome to come back. So stay on the line. I'm gonna go ahead and throw us on a break, and then that way we can get some information from you and maybe schedule up for another time because we want to check on you guys, man.
Sure.
Cool.
All right. So this is
guys.
yeah, man. So it's Chris White and Bobby Henline joining us from Freedom Hard. Like again tonight, we had the Freedom Hard on tonight as our guest. Boom goes the dynamite. So everyone get some shots, and we'll see you in a sec. Shots.
Shots.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening. On.
Rip apart my art, I'm strong like a flower blooming. You got it all wrong, I know I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier, Green Beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see the day. In a constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Your peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media betrayed me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat, they spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
I took that man's life with my own eyes and seen him die with my own hand. Situations you or I, on voluntary suicide. For the mission, lost my wife, cause my mind's a blurry vision. Fuck it, who am I? Millions of people die cause of fucking religion. Fuck yo, got fuck the flock, and most of all, motherfuckers children. That blast blew me on my ass, I cried as women and babies were burning. Individual your livelihood surviving through those people hurting. I gave my life to pay the price, to say goodnight to the nightmares that haunt me till the day my soul has lost its light. 20 years old, popping shots for Uncle Sam, good news.
Hungry for another taste. You stumble around the time you waste, and your table's overturned. Sooner So will you come and breathe with me? Think I wanna live tomorrow, but I wanna be with me. Think I wanna live tomorrow. There's a matter of time, and I'm out of my mind. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you need. I don't care about my heart. Just instead of watching bleed. I don't wish upon a star, 'cause I don't care who you are. I'm out of time, and I'm out of my mind. You can't save me if I can't save me, and you won't follow if I keep falling in, and you won't listen to what I'm saying, 'cause I'm so broke.
The bitches, they love visuals.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back with part 3. Hey, so real quick, I want to, me and Flash will be quiet for a little bit, but I want to kind of show you guys something. Are we still going to, let's go over, let's recap this freaking Korea stuff, dude. Holy shit. This is like, people are.
There's so much going on. They actually just walked out of the 45-minute one-on-one talk. They after at 9:50 their time. Technically 9:50 our time, but they were scheduled. The first thing on the schedule was a 45-minute one-on-one talk with one interpreter. They walked out of that still talking, embraced the media for a second, and now they're actually in talks with. You can see Mike Pompeo there, a couple other people from Trump's White House staff, and then Kim Jong-un and his people at the table talking. For the first time I actually heard Kim Jong-un speak, and
what's he sound like?
He sounds like every other Korean I've ever met.
What?
No, but,
that's so racist. That is so. Did he ask for like pop your neck? No, I'm just
no, but being serious, he sounded different than what I was expecting. Like I don't know if I was expecting a squeaky toy, but I definitely wasn't expecting like sound like Alabama man. But he had he spoke. They're speaking through an interpreter. And right now the camera there looks like they're now kicking out the media, so they can actually begin talks. They go through the whole. Donald Trump pretty much said, look, we're gonna try to talk things over that you weren't able to talk over before. And we're gonna see if we can make this different. And then right when we came back on, Kim Jong-un was speaking, and I started listening to you, other than the little rocket man. But this is historic times. I mean, regardless of what goes down, this is pretty crazy.
It is, man. I'm kind of shocked at the fact that actually, I'm just shocked. It's even happening.
Yeah, I mean, there's one columnist. So I'm watching the ABC news feed. It's been going out the longest, and now everyone keeps. I think CNN's and Fox keep going in and out. But I had one commentator come on. I didn't catch his name because I was getting another beer. But he said that even if we've taken 5 steps forward, even if we lose 2 steps, we are still 3 steps ahead of where we were. And to me, that's like the best way of looking at it, is that yes, I'm not expecting sunshine and rainbows, and all of a sudden all my friends over in Korea are having to pick up, and they're coming back, and we don't have to worry about everything. We're gonna find that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But this is, if they can actually talk, Kim Jong-un is a bad, evil person. There's no sugarcoating it. His sister looks just as evil and mean. She looks like Cruella de Vil. I guarantee she has got a coat full of Dalmatian puppies if we look for it. But
no, they'd be eating them. But go ahead.
But when the world is at the brink of a potential nuclear war, you have to take steps in order to make things happen. As much as sometimes you have to do the hard right over the easy wrong. It's harder to do right now. It's harder to do peace than it is to war because everyone thinks we're ready to go, but it'd be horrible. So so they're talking. They're right now I think it's for the next hour and a half. The heads of these two, of the United States and of North Korea, will be talking over. Maybe initial terms or initially, hey, long term, this is what we want to do. What can we do to get this started? But again, this is only speculation. Everyone seems to have their own opinions on what they think will happen. They had one commentator who's extremely skeptical of everything.
They're always like that, though, man.
He also doesn't think we're going to get as good as a deal we got as we did with Iran.
Of course, because he knows everything. Because all of a sudden, all these guys that were experts on Iran are now experts in Asia.
Yeah, so I mean, right now it's just time will tell. We'll see what happens when they come out of these meetings. Again, it's only 9:59 a.m. over there, and they have like a full day of things going on. So we'll see what happens. But so far, the two leaders have been pretty chummy. They've shaken hands quite a bit. They've been talking to each other. Remember, Kim Jong-un is Western educated.
Yeah, so Switzerland or something like that, right?
Yeah, his father sent him away to go to learn at Western schools, and so he does have a bit of Western knowledge. He isn't one of the folks that have been just like hermited. So we'll see what happens. But so far, everyone's being confident. While a lot of people on Twitter do not like that, there's a couple pictures that show them their first embrace, that they have the American flags and North Korean flags on even keel. Some people don't like that because it shows them as equal to us. I understand why they did it. One, we're in Singapore and not the U.S. or North Korea. So, and two, you don't need the little things that can change this. Even if we put our flags above them, we're not trying to make things worse. We're just trying to talk and see what we can, see if there's any way to back us off the ledge and maybe back off the doomsday clock just a bit. But people are, you have two sides. Everyone's either very happy that we're here, that we're, or some people are thinking like this is the Obama apology tour where we're bowing down to everyone. And I don't, personally, Flash's opinion, I don't think we're there. I think we are keeping everything even keel. We are trying to show, hey, look, we're here to talk. Let's do it, and not let stupid things like the position of the flags be a,
It don't have to be a sticking point. Exactly. Yeah, it shouldn't be a sticking point at all.
We don't need some stupid like our American flags is an inch taller than yours be a distraction.
As a matter of fact, every time we've had dignitaries or we've visited other countries with dignitaries, they have disrespected us by ensuring that their flag was so fucking big when we walked up to it, and our flags were so small, or our flags weren't even displayed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so everyone can just shut it.
They did, they did everything with, I like to say is everything has been, is in with keeping of how we want to do. We want to keep everything on even keel. We want to just talk. There's some people that are, very happy, and some people are feeling this is a disgrace, that this is some of the reactions I've seen on the Facebook Live and on Twitter, that this is a disgrace that we're even, having talks with Kim Jong-un. But these are also probably the same people that were complaining that we're on the brink of war with North Korea,
and we should seek a diplomatic solution for it.
Yeah, so it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But right now, what's happening is Kim and Trump are at a summit together, with the heads of their respective governments, and they are talking. And this is the first time these two have met in person. This is the first time a sitting U.S. president has met with the leader of North Korea. So these are interesting, very interesting times.
And the Capitals won.
And the Capitals won. Man, shoot, if I would have been better prepared, I got an email right when I left, after I left work, saying, "Hey,
buy a lottery ticket."
No, like they're letting people know they're going to be closing down a lot of streets in D.C. for the parade. And luckily for me, the parade is like maybe 2 block. Where some of the routes are is about 2 blocks from my building, so I can actually walk out of the building and walk down to the parade. But they're like, oh yeah, you can take annual, you're authorized to take annual leave or telework. I'm like, damn it, I didn't bring my computer with me, so I have to go through all that crazy. But yes, so I guess we'll I'll keep you up to date on anything that happens with this the Trump Kim summit. But I guess we need to start with Flash's sports page.
Well, hang on real quick. I just got a quote from somebody just sent me, quoted by Kim. He said, "It's not been easy to come to this point. For us, the past has been holding us back, and old practices and prejudices have been covering our eyes and ears. But we have been able to overcome everything to arrive here today." End quote. Kim. So, real quick.
It does sound like he's taking this I think he's taking this serious as like this is the future, because a lot of people, we talked about last time that he dropped 3 people from their high military positions because he was worried that they were going to usurp him while he was gone, and they weren't too keen on the whole denuclearization. So to have him come and say that with some confidence, it means this is potentially the real deal.
All right. So to start off your sports page, I want to go ahead and play your video. We won't be able to hear it, but the nation will be able to hear it, and it's that little clip of that video. So we'll go ahead and let it play right now. We'll be able to still talk and all that, but everyone else is.
Well, the word that comes to my mind is insecure. That's the word that comes to my mind. I don't understand how the greatest player in the world, who's a 3-time champion and a 4-time league MVP, constantly has this insatiable or arguably addictive appetite to try and control a narrative. The reality is that you got swept. That's number one. Number two, you sit up there and you come out to the press conference with a cast on your hand. Where was it in game 1? How about game 2? How about game 3? But after you've gotten swept, when everybody and their grandmother knows you had virtually nothing to play with, that you were a lone ranger all by yourself against 4 All-Stars and the greatest team, the greatest team in the world right now, and a reigning 2-time defending NBA champions. Now you pick that to come out with is as weak as it gets, as far as I'm concerned.
Probably one of the most even-keeled news sportscast recorders, however you want to call it. Stephen Smith was talking about LeBron James.
Yes, he was not happy. Now, if in case you don't follow basketball, which is no problem. Not everyone does follow basketball. Unfortunately for me, I love all sports, and I've been watching all sports. The Golden State Warriors swept the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they actually beat them at home to secure the win. Now, Stephen A. Smith is talking now. Stephen A. Smith, I sometimes I loathe him, and sometimes I love him. This is one of those times where I completely agree. So after the Game 4 loss, where they lost by a considerable amount, usually I'm one of those kind of people that will watch, I will watch the whole game no matter what it is, especially in baseball. The Yankees could be down 9-1. It's the bottom of the 9th, and I will continue to watch because you never know what happens, and I don't want to be the guy who misses anything. So I try to watch everything. And I'd watched all the games up until the last one, where I watched up until halfway through the 4th quarter, where I went, nope, game. It was already 100-something to 73, and LeBron had shaking hands, he had kind of like fist bump and shaking hands with the Golden State Warriors and some of his teammates, and he sat down for potentially his last game as a Cleveland Cavalier. Now, what Stephen A. Smith is talking about is there's reports came out that after the Game 1 loss, that you could blame J.R. Smith, or you can blame the guy who missed the free throw that could have put them ahead anyways. He had punched a whiteboard and had a deep bone bruise, and I'm doing Air Bunny right now for that deep bone bruise. So after the 4th game, he came out in his little black cast that you saw in the video, and now they start talking about his hand is hurt. He's been playing hurt this whole time. I don't buy that.
Not buy it either. Not at all.
LeBron James is, and this also for a lot of people puts to rest the Michael Jordan, LeBron James, talk. Who's better? And yes, LeBron James is better in some categories, and Michael is better in others. But here's one big difference: is LeBron James is 3-6 in the finals. Michael Jordan was 6-0. Yes, Michael Jordan did get swept in the first round, but never got swept in the finals. Actually, never lost a finals game, if I remember right.
No.
And there's some big differences. And another thing is,
he's bracketing. They were bracketing LeBron James to be as if it was only a snapshot of time with Michael Jordan's entire career. In other words, they're trying to say what Michael Jordan has done in his entire career is nothing compared to what LeBron James is up to now. And I'm thinking, there's no comparison. There's no comparison.
This loss right here, this complete sweep.
Yeah.
How do you get swept? And 2 games at home. You usually, I was expecting this to go at least game 6 or 7, not game 4 and be done. So it's kind of crazy. But you come out and you're sitting in it now. Your hands in a cast. Now your hands are broken. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. You're making excuses, and like Stephen A. Smith said, it's just. You're making excuses. You got swept. You just need to deal with it. And now the big thing is for LeBron James is he could potentially hit free agency this year.
I'm pretty sure nobody's going to take him though.
No, everyone will. Here's the big difference. I always, and a lot of people, thought I was being funny when I said that, Golden State Warrior were going to win this one because they have a complete team. The Cavaliers had LeBron, J.R. Smith. Yes, he was good with the Knicks for a bit, but never was, able to break out as a top tier caliber player. He's always support players. And the Cavaliers, with Kevin Love, they built a cast around LeBron, but never enough where he didn't have to pull the whole load himself. The Golden State Warriors had a great problem. They had plenty. They had Green, Thomas, Curry, Durant. A lot of people are getting on Durant because yes, he did leave the Oklahoma City Thunder to go to Golden State and has won 2 championships. But LeBron did the same thing. He went to Miami, and they got a couple championships. So LeBron he's a great player. I will not take that away from him. I think LeBron James is a great basketball player. Does he take losing very well? Not at all. I can respect that. But he doesn't take it gracefully either.
Well, I mean, to add insult to injury, on this date, 21 years ago, Michael Jordan played through the entire game to deliver one of the most iconic finals performances in NBA history.
Oops, over the Jazz.
Yeah, exactly. He had the flu. He had the fucking flu. So
yeah, and it's so they're everyone thinks that LeBron James is time back with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Remember, he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers and then left to go to Miami.
What will I do? What will I do? Remember, that was an annoying fucking campaign for such fucking hype. What will he do? What will I do? That South Park started imitating him.
Some more during the summer. There's a lot of talk of where he might go. One of the biggest ones is going to Houston. Now, you have to remember, the funny thing was Golden State didn't have the greatest season. I mean, they had a good season, but Houston Rockets were rolling over everyone.
Yeah.
And they thought we're a shoo-in, and they took Golden State to 7. Had potentially if Chris Paul had not gotten hurt and left all the work for James Harden, potentially could have been the Rockets versus the Cavs.
But did it matter though? But think about this though. Did it matter about who got what? But what the sweep when it was like, oh, he got swept within the first round, or they got
because it wasn't like every game was lost by 1. Like
Correct.
that last the finals game was a huge, like they were running away with it, and you could tell that LeBron just was done, and you could tell LeBron was done. Honestly,
I think they quit. They quit.
Yeah, they quit. I mean, it was. There's a reason why I decided to turn off my TV, and I don't do that. You can ask my wife. I do not. I like to watch things to the end. Doesn't matter if I'm going to be up for after 1, knowing that I still have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. Doesn't matter. I'm going to watch the game because you never know. But as soon as LeBron decided to sit, I realized that they're not even going to try to win this game, finish this game, and that's it. And to me, it's a little it's a little disheartening that you just kind of give up on your team. But so they're thinking that LeBron might might try to go to the Rockets. Others think that Oklahoma City Thunder might be the home for him. Some crazy people think the Knicks, but the Knicks are having. I'm a Knicks fan, and we're so hurt right now. We couldn't figure out. We can barely figure out a way to even get on a basketball court, let alone land LeBron James. So the big thing right now for the NBA is going to be where LeBron goes. But again, what makes me feel bad is that we have not discussed how awesome the Golden State Warriors were this whole postseason.
I was about to say, dude.
And I did exactly what I got mad about. That everyone was covering. Where's LeBron going? How did LeBron hurt his hand? How much of an impact did that show? Everything was about LeBron and not about Steph Curry being, having a couple championships under 30 like Michael Jordan. Kevin Durant getting the Finals MVP and his second Finals championship. I mean, the Warriors had a great team going. They had a lot of, all-star star caliber people. Steve Kerr, their head coach, is phenomenal. So Golden State Warriors really they took that season this series over after going to the brink with the Houston Rockets. They came ready to fight, and the Cavaliers didn't.
Well, everyone's talking about the comparisons of the amount of championships as a player. Everybody knows Bill Russell is number one. With 11 championships as a player, and then Havlicek, and then Robert Horry, and then Michael Jordan, and then Kareem, Stephen Kerr, Kobe Bryant, Ron Harper, Dennis Rodman, Robert Parrish, Shaquille O'Neal, and then with 3 tied with Stephen Curry is LeBron. So how could he sit there and say he's a better player than Michael Jordan?
To me, I never felt that there really was a compare. To me, it's a generational apples to oranges. It's hard. I think the NBA has changed from when I was a kid watching Michael Jordan play for the Bulls, and then when he started playing for, he left and came back and was playing for the Wizards. I remember, it's a different kind of game. So to me, I think it's unfair for anyone to compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. At the you're comparing a peak, somebody who is already rolling on their peak with somebody who's, to me, I think LeBron James to me is just starting. To me,
I think he's still got some. He's got a good couple of years of.
Yeah, he's got a good. But
for years, I've had him on my fantasy basketball team. He's usually up there. He was doing averaging triple doubles, and LeBron James is still a great player. And
correct. I'm not discounting that.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, I'm not discounting that. I'm just a comparison thing because because he finished with 748 points this postseason.
Crazy.
And the second points in a single postseason in NBA history, Michael Jordan has the most with 759. So don't even talk about the comparison stuff. I would see maybe in about 4 or 5 years, maybe I could see him maybe surpassing. Maybe. What will he do? Where will he go? It just drives me up the wall how he likes to fucking sit there and say that he's statistically better when dude just started. That's just me.
It's going to be interesting summer to see what happens. I fully expect him to leave Cleveland. I fully expect him. I don't know if he's going to try to go to a super team, complete the Rockets with Chris Paul and James Harden. But we'll see. I mean, just like anything can happen in sports.
Yeah, it ain't.
So there's going around, since we're on the sports page. Cool news coming out of the MMA arena. Ronda Rousey will be inducted into the UFC's Hall of Fame on July 5th. The promotion announced Saturday night. Rousey is the UFC's first women's champion, holding the bantamweight belt from 2012 to 2015 and defending it 6 different times. So she's going to be the first woman inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. It's pretty cool. She won her first 12 professional fights, all by submission, most of which were finished in less than a minute. Rousey owns the record for 4 of the 5 fastest finishes in the UFC women's bantamweight history. And yes, she, even though she's no longer doing MMA. She's in the WWE world, wrestling it up. It's still pretty cool to have the first female UFC fighter inducted.
Yeah, but she's going to WWE.
Yeah, well, it's where it's still physically demanding, but maybe you don't get punched in the face as much.
Yeah. Well,
I can never do MMA because I don't like getting punched in the face. And now,
it looks like it hurts. It looks like it hurts. Looks like there's pain involved, man.
See, I'm not. I can be tough if I need to be. I'm not tough enough to do that willingly. That's too easy. But hey, now speaking of, we're gonna switch on over hometown love. Yes, I am a New York Rangers fan. I've never, I'll never say I'm a bandwagon, but I will give it up for your DC Capitals winning the NHL championship over the the Vegas Golden Knights. It was pretty cool. My dad and I had just come back. I was speaking at a college class, and we got back. We got to watch the third quarter, and when we left, the Capitals were down, and then they were up, and that's all she wrote. Making Ovechkin, who's been with the Capitals for like 13 years, finally winning the Stanley Cup, and this is cool for DC. Because I've been seeing it it's been crazy today, that this is the first championship DC has had since 1991. This is the first championship the Capitals have had, and they've been around for, I think, longer than I've been alive, to be honest. So DC hasn't had a win in quite a while. The Nationals have gone to the playoffs, but then been kicked out swiftly. Baltimore Orioles, that were kind of considered the DC team, have been kind of abandoned since the Nationals came into DC, but they haven't won anything in a long time. The Ravens, it's been a while since, they're not really DC, so, the Baltimore kind of goes, yeah, screw you, DC. And then the Capitals, and then the Redskins. No one's actually had a championship in a long time, and this is something I think DC needed. And Ovechkin, man, I tell you what, if you haven't watched some of the stuff Ovechkin's been doing, he's been living his best life for the last since last Thursday. This man has been drinking champagne out of the Stanley Cup. He went to a Nationals game, was hanging out with the fans, was drinking beer out of the Stanley Cup. Walking around. This man is having the greatest time. And they beat the Vegas
Golden Knights. Cake stand, right?
Yeah, this man has been just losing it, but he's an MVP. The Capitals, usually they get to the Penguins, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Penguins will, they'll take it to 7 games against the Penguins, but somehow they always found a way to lose. This was the year they found a way to win, and I remember telling I told my dad when we watched the game, I said, watch, Capitals are gonna bring it to 7 again because they beat the Penguins. They're ready to go. And man, I was happy to be right. I got to show my my hometowns my hometowns a little bit of love and some DC love. So much so that Ovechkin actually threw the first pitch at a Nationals game, and they actually let him do it again because his first pitch kind of went way out of there. They gave him a mulligan and let him do it again, and everyone's getting all mad. And I'm like, this is DC and this is Ovechkin. Go away. If anyone deserves, it's a guy who scored. Oh man, I had all the numbers. He scored like an absurd amount of goals this year. So it's kind of cool that NHL and NBA have all ended at the same time. That leaves room for NASCAR and baseball.
I was about to say, what's next? Yeah, we got NASCAR coming up. We had the Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte. We had some other we had some other stuff going on too, but really it's kind of like dead on the freaking, except for, like you said, baseball.
Well, this is the part of the season. This is the part of the year that a couple of my friends say this is the boring year because you don't have. At one point you have NASCAR, you had baseball, you had basketball, and you have hockey, all going at the same time. It's that April, May is when everything is kicking off. But after the 2 championships, the NBA, NHL, it's baseball. Now for you hardcore baseball fans, it doesn't matter what year it is, what time of year it is. But for the casual baseball fan, this is kind of where everyone's going, oh my God, 173 games forever. Yeah, June, July is when it's, baseball tends to kind of feel like it's dragging on a bit. It's the August, September where you're getting down to the wire, and all those games, they're like, oh, it's okay if we lost that, now really count. But a lot of big things have happened. A lot of injuries. The New York Yankees against the Mets this weekend lost one of their ace pitchers, Tanaka, to the DL. They were playing called the Subway Series when they went to Queens to play the Mets. You have to remember that the Mets play the National League type game where the pitcher is actually bats. It's totally different from the American League where they have the designated hitter or DH. So Tanaka was able to get on base with a random error. A walk got him to second, a single got him to third, and then a sacrifice fly by Juan Carlos Stanton got him to get a chance to run home and tie up the game. Unfortunately, during his run, there was, if you rewind it and watch it again, you can tell there's one spot where he just didn't know if he was going to slide or not, and it looks like that indecision, and he ended up staying upright and scoring, but that indecision cost him 10 days on the DL because it looks like he tweaked both his hamstrings with that indecision. But it's okay. Even they won that game. They won the next one. We did lose last night's game for we won the series, but we lost we didn't get the sweep. So the Yankees actually hold the number one record in baseball with 42 wins and 19 losses, followed very closely by the Boston Red Sox, 44 wins and 22 losses. Like I said, Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Baltimore Orioles are all,
whatever.
Losses.
You want to talk about, we're talking about the worst. Tampa Bay would be anyways. I don't care about them. They have lost every World Series appearance, and I don't even think they've gone to the World Series yet. They have lost every playoff appearance so far. So
they like to find their ways to lose.
Yeah, best on them. It's because I don't know what it is about. They always have the same. I don't know, the way they do the roster. I don't know. Just can't seem to break from it. They get so either they play off or get lucky on the errors of the teams they're playing against, or they just I don't know. They just don't seem like get it. Ari says that, but the Yankees will keep rolling. All rise for the judge.
All rise for the judge. Yes. The Yankees. One of the big things about the Yankees this year is the fact that they're rookies. Usually people, when you do your lineup, your worst hitters are usually at the bottom of the lineup. For the Yankees, they have a great problem. They don't really have a bottom of the lineup because they have Gleyber Torres and Miguel Andujar, who are both rookies that are both on fire. Aaron Boone, the coach, the manager for the Yankees, actually said they're the booster rocket boosters for the shuttle that is the Yankees right now. They're on pace to actually the team to hit more home runs than anyone else, or break the record for most home runs in a season. That record's been around for I think since the 90s. I think it was the Mariners in the 90s when you had Ken Griffey Jr. and A-Rod, on the same team and just killing it. The Yankees are actually above that pace by, I think they said like 11 home runs. But Gleyber Torres and Duhar have been putting together not only great defensive performances, but their hitting has been spectacular. And they're all rookies. Like the Yankees don't have many people that are, high rollers. Brett Gardner is probably the only ones with the big contract, and Jacoby Ellsbury. But Jacoby Ellsbury is sitting in some second, high A minor league team because the Yankees don't need him. Don't really want him.
Are they going to bring him back? I don't think they're bringing him back though.
He's there. Like he keeps getting injured or having to go back, because he's injured. But I think they're just like, hey, just sit out and just make your money because the Yankees don't even have a spot to put him. They had to send back one of their top prospects, Clinton Frazier, back to AAA because they just don't have room for him between Brett Gardner, Aaron Hicks, Guantanamo Stanton, and Aaron Judge. The outfield is crowded. It's a good problem because the Yankees, what they'll need come the trade deadline, which will be coming up, I believe, next month, is starting pitching. That's their biggest weakness right now. They need another good starting pitcher. There's a rookie at Tampa Bay who Jake Snell, who's been the only shining light for Tampa Bay Rays. They might attempt to do a deal with them. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's a long season, but so far the Yankees are in the driver's seat, and potentially between the Yankees and Boston, both teams are projected to go well above 100 games won. How sad will it be if one of those teams has to play a wild card game after winning 100 games? It's pretty unheard of, but I mean, both teams are clicking all cylinders. Cleveland Indians for the American League Central, 34-29. They've had a good string of games. Detroit Tigers were nipping at their heels, but after going 4-6 in the last 10, Cleveland still has a 5-game head start on them in the Central. And then everyone below Detroit Tigers honestly, Detroit Tigers are 31-36. So Cleveland Indians could really run away with this. In the West, Seattle Mariners and the Houston Astros are tied right now. Could make the wild card and the West division winner very interesting, because you also have the Los Angeles Angels, which are 4.5 behind, but are getting better, even though they did lose their dual rookie. Damn, I'm forgetting his name. It's the new Japanese pitcher they paid so much money for, who's hitting home runs.
Yes,
hit a home run off of Severino, and can pitch. But unfortunately, it looks like he's getting Tommy John surgery and will be out for the season.
Well, Ari brings a good point too, that if the Angels lose Ohtani, then the Astros run away with the West. That's a good point too.
They've officially lost Ohtani. He's as of like around 2 this afternoon, he's officially going to be out on Tommy John surgery and will be out the rest of the year, and potentially into some of the next year. So it's up to the Seattle Mariners and Houston Astros to battle it out. Potentially, you could see. You're going to have right now it looks like you're going to have an American League East and American League West team in that wild card battling it out, and everyone's within striking distance. Seattle Mariners 41-24 and Houston Astros 42-25. So it's going to be really tight. I mean, potentially you could have some 90-win teams in the wild card, or the high 90s. Behind them, the Los Angeles Angels are trying to keep up, but losing that guy is going to hurt them. Oakland Athletics 34-32, 7.5 back from the Houston Astros and Seattle Mariners. Within striking distance, the Texas Rangers are pretty much out of it with 27 wins and 41 losses.
Jesus.
Woo! Yeah, they're 15.5 back, and there's no good things in sight. The only thing they can hope for is they have somebody they can trade away and maybe bring in some prospects. Moving on to the National League, the Washington Nationals are tied right now with wins and losses with the Atlanta Braves, 36-27, 37-28. They're both 5-5 in the last 10 games. It's going to be neck and neck. And the Philadelphia Phillies are only 3 games behind them. New York Mets, who started off so good, they were on an 8-game losing streak up until last night, where they were able to shut out the Yankees. The Yankees were the last team to be shut out in all of baseball. They were able to do it with some.
Dude,
great
you just had to add that the Yankees were. You had to add that little caveat to that.
Hey, but I did say they got shut out. It's not like I beat the Yankees. The Yankees could not string more than 2 hits together. It hurt. And then the Miami Marlins 24-42, 13.5 back from the Washington Nationals. Yeah, that's done for, the Mets and Marlins are done for the year, which kind of sucks. Milwaukee Brewers 39-26, half a game above Chicago Cubs, and 3 games above St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, honestly, when it comes to the American League, you can pretty much see the writing on the wall, who's going to the playoffs, even the wild card. But when you look at the National League, everything's up for grabs. I mean, you both in the East and the Central, you have 3 teams that are within striking distance of taking that top spot. And in the West, you have the Arizona Diamondbacks 35-29, Los Angeles Dodgers only 2.5 back, and the San Francisco Giants 3 games back, Colorado Rockies 3.5 back, and even the San Diego Padres are only 5.5 games back with 31 wins and 36 losses. Potentially, any of these teams go on a run. It's a long season and take the division. So it's a lot of baseball to go. There's been a lot of injuries. A lot of starting pitchers been going out with elbow injuries and shoulder injuries. But it also gives a chance for a lot of the rookies in the AA and AAA that a lot of these teams have. Gives them a chance to come up and hopefully get some star power going. God, I love baseball.
I was about to say, dude, you're on track. Meanwhile,
I'm ready. I won't lie. I am ready for football. A lot of stuff's going on there. Mostly it comes up to you have the summer mini camps, which a lot of them are. Right now there's a lot of players that are currently trying to get other contracts. Julio Jones is to be absent from the Falcons mini camps as the GM, and the Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones informed the team that he won't attend mandatory mini camp. He says the general manager says we have been in contact with Julio and his representation. We will not discuss those conversations publicly, except we say we feel they have been productive and constructive. A lot of it is about contracts. Another one for like the New York Giants, Odell Beckham. A lot of people don't think he'll actually come to the mandatory mini camps because he's actually trying to get his own contract.
I was about to say, isn't he trying to get a contract anyways?
Yeah, I mean and honestly, as a Giants fan, I hope they pay him his money because he's earned it. But he's not the only one. Earl Thomas is not going to show up to mandatory mini camps. People are talking whether they should trade him away or re-sign him and start fresh in Seattle. What they're going to do with they have Carson Wentz and the Eagles, but they still have their quarterback that took them to the Super Bowl. Football's got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of the rookies, a lot of the big star power that came out of the draft or have been in camps since spring and been showing up for coaches, and hopefully we'll be hitting your Madden 19 pretty soon.
Nah, I'm not. I stopped doing the. I stopped doing the Madden stuff, man,
just because I'm fine with I have Madden 2018, and unless there's something huge going on, they're not going to put Saquon Barkley on.
Yeah, I was about to say I haven't had a good Madden game in a long time, so I just stopped getting it.
Outside of that, be okay.
Yeah. So while I mean you're loving baseball and everything, meanwhile, fucking Kim Jong-un and the president is freaking meeting right now for a historic freaking summit. You got Dennis Rodman talking shit about Obama, calling him, saying that he was dissed by Obama, and when Obama blew him off, and is crying on TV right now. He was with Jake Tapper, and he was stating that he blew him off, and he's like, you should have did this, but and he's wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, and then IHOP.
Oh my God, IHOP.
IHOP changed their names to IHOB. Why
temporarily?
Temporarily. I don't think it's temporary. I think
no. So one of the things that IHOP did, trying to do the viral campaign. They told everyone they're switching the P to a B and wanted everyone to guess what it was. It created a big social media buzz, as you can imagine. And today, on a couple of news, like on Fox and Friends and stuff, the CEO said that they are temporarily changed the name to IHOB, the International House of Burgers, because they're trying to bring in more lunch and dinner time crowd. Now, burgers have always been on the menu as long as as long as they've been around. But I guess they're trying to break free a little bit from the the only breakfast. Now, the funny thing is, it's they've also been getting hit up by other. Burger King did Pancake King.
Hell yeah, dude.
Logo. And even Wendy's. I'm gonna try to find it right now. Even Wendy's was throwing some shade because.
Dude, Wendy's is awesome on their tweets, and then when they go after somebody, they fucking light them up, man. It was a comment. I think it was a comment where when you're not good enough to make burgers, what makes you think they'd be good at pancakes or something like that? We're not worried about it or something. Like that.
Somebody said, they're switching to the burgers. Wendy's, why are you going to let them on your block? I thought you were OG. Wendy's replied, not really afraid of the burgers from a place that decided pancakes were too hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Bangarang. Like Wendy's, all the food chains, your burger chains have actually, engaging on social media, and slamming IHOB. But it is a temporary thing. It would cost so much money to switch everything for them. But
also,
Wendy's wrote, remember when you were like 7 and thought changing your name to Thunder Bear Sword would be super cool? Like that, but our cheeseburgers are still better.
Yeah, exactly. They actually have some pretty good cheeseburgers. So we also have some breaking news as well, is that the D. Treasy, aren't you supposed to be doing a summit? He tweeted out that Larry Kudlow his economic advisor suffered a heart attack and has been hospitalized in Walter Reed and is in good condition.
Yikes.
And expect a full and speedy recovery. Damn, dude. But the news is just collapsing today. It's just crazy.
And then people are like, oh, cocaine and alcohol, which, cocaine's one hell of a drug. But some people are like, oh, it's karma. It's like, come on now.
Yeah. No, it's just funny because everyone's now throwing up pictures on fucking social media about what Korea is really like, and they're now all of a sudden everybody cares about what Kim Jong-un is doing, and it's almost like why are you guys throwing shade on the president trying to do something like this? That's what I don't.
Oh yeah, 'cause I'm looking right now, and there's already like their Twitter. Please tell me more about how kneeling disrespects the flag. And he's got the picture of the American flag next to the North Korean flags, and all this outrage. And look, there's Dennis Rodman who's making Make America Great hat with his big old puffy lips and sad puppy dog expression.
Yeah, he's got to stop the Botox, man. Holy shit!
And he's rocking the pot coin. Is that what it's called? It's kind of like the Bitcoin, but it's the pot coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to know I didn't want to know what the Bitcoin was. I sure as hell don't want to know what the pot coin is.
No, I'm just looking.
I'm out to piss test for it.
Yeah, be careful what you say. Someone's gonna hear you and say, "Hey." No, I just let sleeping dogs, lie. Let this stuff happen. I guarantee it. Because the way I'm looking at the pictures right now, it looks almost like, and I'm pretty sure you guys, Nation, are watching this too as well on your TV screens. He's looking at Trump like an old uncle. Like, doesn't he look? I mean, you look at all the pictures of them smiling and shit.
They are really chummy. Like
there's no serious looking faces or nothing. I honestly think, I'm willing to bet you he's probably saying, "Dude, help me get the fuck out of this fucking country. You can do what the fuck you want. I'm out of here. Just fucking visit." You know what I mean? He's like, I'm so fucking done.
Can I have asylum at Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah. I just want to fucking just give me some exile. I'll step down. Put me in a place in fucking Hawaii, and then or somewhere where no one will fuck with me, and that's it. I'm done. We did that with Imelda Marcos and Ferdinand Marcos. When they were extradited out of the Philippines, we let them stay in Hawaii, and they were just as worse. We did the same. You know what I mean? We've done the same thing with people that we said, oh, they're dictators. We've done the same thing. So that's why it looks like to him he's getting really chummy. And he looks like he's looking at him. I want to say like a father figure, but look at him. It looks like he's respecting him.
It's also because he's really short.
Well, yeah. Well,
he is kind of looking up to him because he is kind of short.
Well, I mean, what's considered short? Well, Trump is a big dude, anyways.
Trump is pretty tall.
He's a big dude as it is. I mean, I'm all about 5 foot airborne, so that's my height. Which means I started off at a normal height, and then the airborne life shrunk me.
So Mike Pompeo during on Twitter wrote, "Cancellation of World War III will take place at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight."
Dude, man.
Somebody's writing his tweets for him. He's not this smart. He's not that clever. I'm going to put it that way. But so there's a lot of outrage by military people.
Oh, could you imagine all those generals? All those generals right now.
I'm waiting for your old friend Hertling, that guy.
Oh, General Hertling. General Hertling's had some. We've been trying to get him on here for a while, haven't we? Have we been trying to work on him? No, I thought we were trying to work with him to get him.
We offered him when it was before the full semi-automatic.
Oh yeah. I was just wondering, but he was skeptical about this whole thing to begin with.
Yeah, he's been one of the folks that have been kind of skeptical. He's definitely he's given his opinions about Donald Trump. So has a lot of retired generals, because hell, it's prerogative now. You go and you go rock and roll. But you're seeing, this is getting both praise from the left and the praise and hate from both the left and the right. Ben Shapiro said that, remember when when Obama said that he would meet with dictators without preconditions, and everyone got all mad, and hopefully he's saying pretty much hopefully this is more comes out of this than just a round of golf at Mar-a-Lago. So I mean, this is not a universally loved by both left and right. It's also not hated by both, universally by both left and right. There's still the potential for none of this to be any use other than some media and some shaking hands, and then back to threatening. And this also could be, one person wrote that this reminded them as when Japan was like doing talks with us, and then they scurried away, and then Pearl Harbor happened. Now I think they're retarded and way off base, but still, there are both skeptics and they're both people that are just hoping to believe that something good can come out of.
It just makes me mad. But it just makes me mad that they. It just makes me mad that they would even think that, or even they would even just. I'm sorry. It just makes me mad that they would even consider that to be whatever. Because I'll be honest with you, there's some generals right now. Look, if you ever want to know what goes on through a general's mind, they want to be the next Patton. They want to be that marker on that. In other words, they want their painting at some fucking headquarters painted with their little rendezvous with destiny, whatever shit, whatever logo they ready to fight tonight, whatever you got. They want to have that mystique about it. There's some generals right now that I'm pretty sure are pissed off and wargaming, whatever, still thinking this is going to happen and still making their fucking soldiers do stupid shit, thinking that it is on the brink. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be ready, but what I'm saying is that your time is kind of like done. We're like I keep going back about the Afghanistan, man. Fuck, dude. The Taliban is now. The Taliban has agreed to a ceasefire, but what did we say? Oh yeah, we'll do a ceasefire, but but we're not going to do a ceasefire when it comes to counter-terror operations. I thought we were fucking there for that.
I thought that was the whole shindig. But yeah, you're right. Afghanistan, the Afghanistan government and the Taliban have agreed to a ceasefire. As far as I know, are still under a ceasefire, which we were trying to get them to do a ceasefire because the Afghan government actually was saying, hey, if y'all stop fucking around, we'll see you as a legitimate Taliban party, and you can be a part of the government and rock and roll. And then Taliban, they're like, well, we'll meet, and then Taliban was like, no, we want to meet in the U.S., which we instantly went, pump the brakes, guys. It's not happening.
Yeah, exactly. Ari asks, what were the 28,000 troops in Korea be reassigned or in a peace deal in Germany to counter Russia, Bahrain? Well, funny you should mention that. Well, let's look how Germany worked out. There were 2 divisions, 3 corps assigned, and 4 major command inside Germany, and due to base realignment closures and budget cuts and all this other stuff, they felt that it was feasible that Russia would not. The Cold War was pretty much done. Russia would not do anything. The Russian menace that was said happening would never happen. And so we closed 3 divisions there, 2 divisions there, 1 division there. Now there's no division there. It's only a brigade now. And the 1st Armored Division used to be there. The 1st Infantry Division was reflagged from the 3rd Infantry Division, the 8th Infantry Division. There was a lot of divisions overseas in Germany because of the Cold War. Then somebody felt that it was a good idea to go ahead and let them all fucking come back. Based, like I said, BRAC, base realignment and closures committees stated that this was going to happen because there's no way that Russia is ever going to do stuff. As soon as the 1st Armored Division pulled out, the last unit was done, they annexed Crimea. They invaded the Ukraine. So with that, the way it works in Korea, it's different. What they're doing in Korea, what they have been doing in Korea is what they're doing to Europe now. What they've been doing is Korea, there's a limited amount of soldiers. I don't think there's like 28,000 soldiers there. They're telling you that because they're not counting on the soldiers that are rotating in on rotational deployments. So because of the shortness of the way the Army is and the mismanagement of the deployments, say for instance they'll have 1,000, they'll have like they have a division there with 2 brigades. They will get a brigade from 1st Cavalry Division, 3rd Infantry Division to rotate in for 6-7 months, and that's the numbers. Those are the numbers for the 28,000 soldiers, when really there's not that many soldiers there. You have soldiers stationed around. You're not counting also soldiers. You're only counting soldiers. You're not counting the Fleet Marine Force, Indo-PACOM. You're not counting the Navy carrier battle groups that are there as well. international forces that are there that are Pacific Rim partners like Japan. So to say all those, what are you gonna do with all the soldiers there? I think you should just go ahead and pull them out. Send them back. Maintain a presence. That is a good idea, like you said, Ari, to have a maintained presence, so that way, in the event something happened, they would be there instead. But with the way things are going, we had soldiers in Japan too, and as soon as we were lock, stock, and done with them, we moved the fuck out. Same thing with the Philippines. As soon as they were lock, stock, and done, we moved out too. We're like, okay, we're done. We had Air Force bases in the Philippines. Done. Yeah, you're right, cause the Marines aren't counted there. So a lot of the rotational forces that are going into Korea, it's the same for Europe. I know this because I've had soldiers deploy to both in those brigades, and
I've done both.
Yeah, so
I've done both,
So-
and currently the First Cav Division actually sent their first brigade over
Correct.
to Germany and Poland, and over there doing Atlantic Resolve.
Correct.
And 3ID has their first brigade, who we're working on. They're doing a lot of great work out there, so we're trying to get them to come on the radio. Still working out with that with the 3ID PAO and the PAO down at their first brigade. But their first brigade is doing the rotation at
Yep.
Area 1. Actually, no, they're all moved down to
They're
Camp Humphreys
yeah,
now.
Yeah, they're all Humphreys now.
They all did that because 1st Brigade, 1st Cavalry Division did the first battalion move that moved their 1st Battalion down to Camp Humphreys, and everyone followed suit. So you have 3ID and 1st Cav, they're just rotating. We're just going to keep because once 3ID leaves, they're going to 2nd Brigade from 1st Cav will go back or some crap like that, and then they'll just keep doing this like find the unit. Here you go. Here we go.
And those are those reasons why all those bullshit requirements the Secretary of the Army cut out. Oh, another one too. Transgender training is complete. They're no longer doing that one either.
I'm okay with that. I think we've done enough.
Yeah.
Everyone understand that we got it now? Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
If they'll shoot straight,
Yeah.
let them be.
Yeah. Well, I know in the multi-star headquarters I work, a transgender soldier, and I will not disclose, but basically they said to be transgender, it's just better off just to wait until you get off of work. That individual told me that it was a pain in the ass to do it, and that individual said, "Fuck this."
There's a lot that goes after doing the training. There's a lot that goes into that. I feel,
Yeah,
honestly,
I asked.
For those that for those people out there that are small-minded, don't care what what religion, race, color, creed, don't care. If you can shoot straight and follow your orders, go for it.
Yeah.
Go forth and conquer. Kick ass.
Exactly.
Share my fuck anytime you want.
Exactly. Never had again, didn't know the individual was transgender until I saw that individual out and about. And I'm like, wait a minute, how come you're not? And that's when the individual said, it's a pain in the ass to fucking do it. I just don't even fucking do it because it's a pain in the ass to do whatever. Why can't I just, do this and do that? And it's easy. Oh, okay, cool. All right, whatever. I'll have, where are you going? I'm gonna take it easy. That was it. It was more like, oh, okay, damn. So odd to have somebody that that is at work wearing a uniform and then walking up to you, at a store, or you're seeing somebody at a restaurant or something like that, and then they still have the same voice, but they turn and look at you, and you're like, oh, dude. Yeah, Marines don't count either. And the Marines can't count. Good point, Joe. Good point. Oh, shit. We got a packed week. We got a guest every night this week.
We're pretty packed this week. The awesome people in our front desk have been killing it.
So, go ahead, man. Knock out the guest lists.
So we got unlike the Grandmaster Ice over here said, we've got a packed week. Again, we want to thank the guys from Freedom Hard, Chris White and Bobby Headline for coming on. They're awesome. We're gonna hopefully hook us up with some stuff that maybe we can do some contests and prizes. That'd be kind of cool. So they might be hooking us up. So make sure you stay tuned. Let me look at my list real quick. On Tuesday, Tied Up Tuesday, we've got Joanne Mendez. She's a United Marine Corps and Navy veteran. She's currently an author, advocate, and speaker. She enlisted in the Navy when she graduated high school. for one-term enlistment. In 1999, she joined the United States Marine Corps. Crayon Eaters Unite! In the United States Marine Corps, she became a drill instructor. Sorry, it's one too many beers and I'm having too much fun. She became a drill instructor at the Marine Corps Recruiting Depot, Paris Island, South Carolina, where she had an opportunity to transform young women into United States Marines. She also served as a Marine Corps officer cadet candidate school in Quantico, Virginia, as a sergeant instructor transforming women into Marine officers. In 2017, she released her first book entitled Esprit de Corps, Guiding Principles and Spirituality for Modern Marine Teams. She is currently a Marine and veteran advisor for Prima Community College and has been advocating and raising money to combat homelessness among female veterans. In 2018, she competed in the Mrs. Veteran America competition. Her current goal is to continue a life of service to our great nation by continuing to make a difference in people's lives and combating female veteran homelessness. That's happening tomorrow on Tied Up Tuesday with Minx and Grey Cloud.
Oh, I gotta guess. Go ahead.
And then on Wednesday, it's Donza Day. Yes, there's no show on Wednesday. Never has, never will be. It's all an illusion. But it's one day for us to kind of take a breath, even though it's kind of weird we have it on a Wednesday. But don't worry about it, because on Thursday, Sergeant Time, we've got Bryce Doobie, the PAO for the veterans, the Texas Veterans Commission. This was a last-minute one, which is we're glad to get him on. Bryce is coming on to talk to us about the state of Texas just recently passed new legislation declaring tomorrow, June 12th, as Women's Veterans Day. There's over 180,000 women veterans in the state of Texas. Many of them do not self-identify as veterans, and a lot of civilians don't recognize them as veterans as well. The new legislation has passed to recognize the women who served in the armed forces and to educate the general public about their service to the nation. Now, we weren't able to squeeze them in on Tuesday because it was the last second, but Bryce is going to come on and he's going to talk about the work the Texas Veterans Commission did to help push that through, and how they feel this is not while this is great, this is not the first stop, and they're destined to do more. So they're coming on Freedom Friday Night Freedom. Shut your face.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Friday Night Freedom. Now we're going on to Saturday Night Savagery.
Friday Night Freedom. Jennifer Paquette from the Green Beret Foundation and Thomas Merle from Special Forces Brothers are coming on. Jen and Tom will be on to talk about the upcoming auction, Don Shipman's Memorial Special Forces Brothers auction, benefiting the Green Beret Foundation. I don't think they could have found a longer name. The Special Forces Brothers hold an annual auction on June 19th of every year, benefiting the Green Beret Foundation. The Green Beret Foundation serves the Army Special Forces, our nation's most elite soldiers, by connecting them with the resources they need to succeed in the missions ahead. Special Forces Brothers was established in 2010 as a way for vetting Special Forces Brothers to stay in touch and exchange stories and history about their days in the Special Forces, and also to find those who are pretending, those bastards.
Yeah, no.
Then on Monday, again, because we're so awesome, on the Monday edition with Ice and Flash, we have Kelly Kennedy. She's an author and journalist. She's is the best-selling author of They Fought with Each Other, The Triumph and Tragedy of the Hardest Hit Unit in Iraq, and the co-author of Kate Germano's, damn it, why am I saying her name wrong? Kate Germano's Fight Like a Girl, The Truth Behind How Female Marines Are Trained. We had her on the show maybe a month or two back. Kelly is an award-winning journalist embedded in both Iraq and Afghanistan, has served as a military reporter and editor, served as military reporters and editors' first female president. She is the only American woman to have served both in U.S. military and covered U.S. combat as a civilian.
Yeah,
she also spent. She's a badass.
She's a badass, dude. She's got combat time in Desert Storm and Somalia.
She'll kick your ass and then write about it.
And then write about it. And then she was
and
embedded
then win
with
an award for writing about it.
Yeah. So yeah, she's a badass.
She also spent several years at USA Today covering the Affordable Care Act, as well as veterans issues such as the Gulf War illness and burn pits in Iraq and Afghanistan. She is working on a rewrite of her first novel, as well as a nonfiction book about the Civil War. Kennedy's career began when she joined the Army at age 17 as a way to pay for her college education to become a journalist. She served in Iraq, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia during Operation Desert Storm in 1991, and then Mogadishu, Somalia in 92 and 93. After leaving the military, she spent half of her career covering civilian issues such as education and crime at newspapers that include the Oregon and the Salt Lake Tribune. In grad school at the University of Colorado, she focuses on her studies on military policy and history, as well as Middle Eastern politics. Since then, her work often focuses on military and veteran issues. She does a lot, so we're really glad she is able to take some time to come on our show, and that's the Money Edition next week. And then next Tuesday, Rob O'Neill. From the Facebook page Bay Pines Exposed.
Oh yeah.
He's a retired employee from the Bay Pines, Virginia, or Bay Pines, VA. He'll be on to talk about the mistreatment of veterans in the Bay Pines, VA. They have been in the local and national news several times for their neglect and mistreatment of veterans. Some of these stories range from dead veterans who were stored in the shower instead of being transported to the morgue, to veterans going without heat in the VA building when they were seeking treatment. Rob will be giving us the inside scoop on these stories and more. I feel that's going to be a tough day to listen to the show, but honestly, these stories need to come out. So we're glad to have Rob O'Neill come on the show on next Tuesday and Tied Up Tuesday on June 19th. And that's what we have so far. We're still working on getting more. So if there's somebody you want us to talk to, feel free to hit us up. Remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, Mixer, and YouTube. We're everywhere at WTF Nation Radio. Don't forget, you can go to WTFNationRadio.com. If you like this podcast or want to re-listen to any of the podcasts we've ever done, you can go on there, download podcasts. We're also on iTunes. Feel free, download us, like us, share us, talk about us. We're awesome. WTF Nation Radio. We kick ass.
So hard that your eyebrows fall off.
We're WTF Nation Radio, bitch.
Yeah,
we didn't get to cover that story.
We didn't get to cover it because we had so much shit going on.
We have too much stuff. It's no fun.
Man.
We prioritize better.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you all for joining us tonight, and definitely appreciate y'all coming on. And with that,
except you, IHOB.
Except for you, IHOB. So whatever. So y'all have a good night, and see you next time. Shots.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Now, having said all this, why aren't I 50 points ahead, my man? Let's go! We gotta go now! Hurry! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
You are fake news.
like CNN and MSNBC are fake news.